high. We're like two little girls having a sleepover right now.
Dude.
Hey.
I had this horrible dream that you were not on the show anymore, dude. It lasted like 50 weeks. It was fucking crazy. What is up, dude? We've been talking all the fucking time, so it's hard to act like it's natural, like we just started talking, like we haven't been talking for the last probably 3 hours. Dude, do you mind if I good to have you back? Do whatever the fuck you want.
You know what?
Add whatever you got, bro. Do it.
What's going on? Keegan Holman, what's going on? What fake name? What's going on? Rainbow Yawn. Oh my goodness, what is going on, dude? You're up late. Yakamuk, how are you doing? Suki, how are you, my dude? Got one of your toys right behind me there. Lynn's the rap boy. You are also up late. You are definitely on the other side of the country there. Nim Studios, what is up? Super Terrible Toys, how you doing there? 8-Bit Mike, Grayskull Toys. Anyways, fucking slightly adrift. How are you? Death and Strawberries, man. Massive hugs. Porpoise, what is up? Retro Zone Neon, how are you, my dude? Jazz Wizard, the Jazz Wizzy, dude. Jazz Wizard, I was thinking about you the entire time that I was trying to dust my collection. Nobody will ever beat your fucking tour, my dude. That thing was insane. Zamiko, what's going on? Mecha Ducky was telling me all about meeting you. Definite Breaks, what's going on? Jason St. Paul, how are you? Cool Cat Toyko, what's going on? Stomach Station, how are you?
God, hey,
had to
and we're back.
What's going on, man? Street Fighter SPDX. Oh my god, Ocular Robness, how are you? Oh my goodness. Oh.
God dang. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining in. What a fucking astronomical show we have tonight. Holy shit. You know, two of the things, probably the two biggest things, just came to fruition within the last 2 hours. It was going to be a fucking cool show before that, right? But I think we added onto it. I really do. Dude, so we got a tour from you tonight. We got giveaway by Plastic Vomit, which I got to grab. Plastic Vomit, by the way. That's a whole box of giveaways from Plastic Vomit. Plastic Vomit, if you saw the post earlier this week, there will be a Plastic Vomit giveaway on every single episode going forward until they say stop. How about that? That's in addition to every other giveaway that we do. This week, we doubled up and we're going to do 2 Plastic Vomit giveaways. Crumbs will be here for that. He will be there to the end. I can't promise a 2-hour show. Let's just say it right now. That's not going to happen tonight. It's going to be longer. You know what I noticed, dude, is that like after the show is over, you'll appreciate this. After the show is over, if I can keep it under 2 hours, which is another reason I like to keep it under 2 hours, is because it will automatically generate AI clips from the show and title them, which you can change, but it will give you clips of what to do. Now, the last round that I got was they were dumb. They were really dumb clips, and I didn't use them. But the option is there. I think I used it when Eddie was on, and maybe somebody else. But it works pretty cool sometimes, dude.
You know, and of course this is gonna happen, man. I was chilling here earlier. I've been wearing this all afternoon. The sun was blazing in here. It was all good. Getting to this chat, I am like a sweaty mess over here all of a sudden. Whew. Anyway, I'm gonna have to rip this off at some point. You guys won't even know it. I'm just gonna be going around looking at the toys and stuff like that. You won't even realize what's been happening. And yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, Florian, what's going on, man? Yeah, I will be totally honest with you too, dude. And all of you, I think, can understand this. I tried to dust. Earlier this week, I was out on my balcony like a madman with my vacuum cleaner, vacuuming my balcony because I was like, that's where the dust is coming from. There's all this dust everywhere. There's always dust. So I was like, I was so in my head. I was like, you know what? This is where we're going. So I literally lugged the vacuum cleaner out on the balcony. At first, I was just using the little nozzle head, getting all like the little cracks and stuff. And I was like, fuck this. And then I plugged it right in. I started just actually vacuuming the balcony. I was like, hell yeah. Got a big old bucket and started just scrubbing down the fucking screens and shit. Because I'm on the 23rd story in an apartment building. And honestly, I feel like I get all the debris from the outside world, plus the people above me moving around that debris. And then I must just be a dry dude. I don't know. Like the crumbs comes from somewhere, man. Everywhere, everywhere.
I'll tell you what, man, it's everywhere. It's even in the, the plat or the glass cases that I have. Somehow, some way, it gets in there, and then they make these little aftermarket things, these little dust things to keep dust out of there. And I'm like, don't you think that should come with it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm buying this case to put this shit in, and you're telling me that you're still going to get dust in there. So,
I bet museums and stuff have that shit that just like there's like a constant little vacuum pull happening at the seam.
Yes.
Change that filter or something.
Yes. You know who would be the good guy to ask on that? Whistling Ponies. Whistling Ponies has a lot to do. His degree is in museum. I don't know what it is. Something to do with museums, but it's crazy. I don't know if we even got into that onto the show.
Admittedly, that's what I had originally hoped to do. Before wanting to be a teacher or anything like that, before any of the other shit. Originally, I wanted to go into art restoration. I was obsessed with art history and art restoration, but you need a lot of chemistry and biology, or chemistry, not biology, science background shit. Stuff. You're tampering with 1,000-year-old stuff.
Yeah.
Which these things sometimes, man.
Yeah, Porpoise said he was just losing his shit about dust in the windows. Yeah, I hear it, dude. It's a problem. The black cases that I have though, those stay pretty fucking clean. Those are pretty Loctite. The ones behind me here. So we got a couple things to talk about, man. We might as well start talking about shit right away. There's 46 people in the room, which is probably the most people we've had here in a while. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We are going to look at a piece tonight. I made reference to a piece tonight that I am going to show that I have recently acquired. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. It's a dollar slice piece, everybody. I finally got one.
I hope, if anything, anybody in the chat that actually has had, like, maybe knows a little bit more on this piece, I would love a little bit more information, because I'm not a Joe dude. I don't know much.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're not going to do it right now. We'll get to that. We'll save that. We'll get to that. You've already seen it. He said, Retrozone says, oh boy, here we go. You know what, man? I think you guys are going to be surprised. I think you're going to be surprised. Me and Crumbs already discussed this before. Speaking of that, we're taking off. Let's just take off on that, dude. We are going to close a lot of fucking doors tonight. You know what I mean? I think going forward, man, we're going to close a lot of fucking doors, and we're going to really start fresh, so to speak, in a number of ways, beginning fucking the minute that this show's over. Fuck. I mean, so we'll talk about the dollar size piece later. So there's a couple things about that. Like I said, we're gonna close some doors tonight. We're gonna open some other doors. The other one, dude. I mean, fucking, hey, 47 people in here. Let's just fucking talk about it right now, dude. Before Crumbs left the show, and we just talked about this a couple hours ago. We actually talked for a couple hours the other night, but we didn't get around to this because we were talking about other things getting caught up. When Crumbs left the show, he initially had wanted to just kind of back up from the show and take some time off and maybe step away from the camera and do stuff in the background.
There was the letter that I sent to you telling you that I was going to come and murder your entire family as well. So,
if you're the one who brought that up, I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't think it was relevant. But if you think it's relevant, then there was that too. But the idea was that you want to do some stuff in the background. And honestly, dude, I was hurt by that. I didn't want you to leave. You know, looking back at it now, it was very selfish to react the way that I did. I think we probably both made excuses why we didn't want to be part of the show anymore. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, I think it was more, I was bummed, dude, that you didn't want to be a part of the show anymore. And I think I reacted in the wrong way initially. So time goes on, and we kind of keep in touch and whatnot. And I, the more and more busy I get with the show, I really want the show to progress, man. I think, oh, Titty Bean, what's up, my dog? I really think the show has some legs. You know what I mean? I think they can really, if not do some really cool things going forward, I think that it needs to at least, be able to be sustainable and stick around. And I'll be honest with everybody out there, man, I cannot do this by myself for that much longer, man. I had a plan of kind of scheduling through December and then taking a break. I'm really working on my book. I really want to get that book out next year. But maybe taking some time off and just kind of reevaluating, where the show's going and what direction it's going and how to keep it fresh. I'm always worried about that. I don't want anybody to get bored out there and just say, oh, it's the same fucking thing again, man. But, with my life outside of the show, it's busy and there is just not a lot of time. There wasn't a lot of time when Crumbs was around. There was even the last time when Crumbs wasn't around. So, thinking more and more on it, I'm thinking, God, dude, well, Crumbs was right the whole time. His idea about stepping away and just kind of being somebody in the background that is, maybe popping in here and there, but also really working on graphics and posts, giveaways and stuff like that. That is invaluable to me. And I think that's the only way that I can go past December is, this is going to be 118 weeks in a row, man. 52 weeks in a year. So we're over 2 years already of doing this every single day of the week. That means there's posts every day of the week and giveaways every week. And it gets tiring, man. It was tiring with two guys. It is fucking a dogfight with one guy, man. I love doing it. And I think that's the only reason that I'm still going solo is just because I like it so much, man. I love the pieces. I love the artists. I love the collectors. We've had some fucking awesome collectors on here recently. But the only way I can keep that going, man, is if I have some help, dude. So Crumbs and I talked just before the show today, man, and kind of talked about, what that would look like for him to help out with the show again. And I think that's the decision that we've come to is he will be back, man. I don't know in what capacity yet. I don't think he knows in what capacity yet. Is it going to be face-to-face live every week? No, it's not. Will he be popping in? Absolutely he will. Will he be taking care of graphics and videos and those chop up fucking jewels that he used to drop every week? Yes, so he will be doing that. Did you go put on a collared shirt? What do you think this is? Did you
I'm dying.
So that's what's happening, man. Like I said, I think that's the best way to get the show to grow even more and to keep it fresh, and to really just kind of take a load off of my plate.
I'll take a load.
Yeah, Crumbs he was happy to do it, man, and I'm thankful for that, dude. It is fucking awesome to have you back in the house again. I don't know what else to say, bro. Like I honestly, man, I didn't know how to even approach that with you as far as asking you that. I didn't know if you'd be totally turned off by that or be like, hey, dude, like I know you have a job on Thursday nights and it might be tough to kind of work around, but it's not just a Thursday night thing, man. And I think that's what some people don't understand with the show. Believe it or not, it is a fucking everyday thing, man. You're either getting something ready for a post or doing a post or trying to do a post or thinking about stuff that you're going to do with the artist or how the show is going to roll out or, it's an everyday thing, man. And for one person to do it, anybody out there I know there's other people out there who have done shows. And it's, as much as I'd like to say you can just turn on Instagram, which you can, turn the camera on, just go. Typically, those things don't work out all that well. If you're trying to get something out there that's going to last and, maybe be a reference down the line for people to do whatever. It's got to be, something legit, man. It's got to look pro. It's got to be, I think to bring even more legitness to the scene and what we're doing. It's important that it looks good. And I know Eddie feels the same way. I'm sure Lab 9 feels the same way. His stuff is looking fucking crisp when he does it.
Dude, that's a fun show, man.
It is. It is. Yeah, no, it is. Let me finish. And DKE is, we talked about, what Janky does for DKE. And I would say, man, it would be something very fucking similar, dude, to something like that. And I don't know. That's all I really got to say about that, dude. I'm fucking stoked that it's happening, man. It's something that needed to happen. And I don't know, dude. I am fucking stoked to have you back. I know you probably wear like a fucking extra small shirt, but I got one medium left in the Vomiting Droids Toys Alive collab. I'm gonna throw that in your box for you, buddy. It's gonna be like a fucking prom dress on you, but that's I'll take you.
Oh shit. I laughed with 8-Bit Mike because, and I was telling you, I've got that fucking box. It just happens, man. Like, and there's a couple of you guys I've got boxes for. You start working on stuff, and then the issue is that you're going to be doing a meetup with like some other toy people, and you're like, oh shit, well I got to get some stuff. So you put all your folks on getting some stuff ready for them, or a buddy comes from out of town, and you're like, oh crap, I got to get a piece ready for them, and before you know it, the boxes just take forever to get something out. And there's that 8-Bit Mike piece that's in that box, and it's funny because he posted a post with it being like a year ago, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, that's still sitting in that box waiting to go out. Fuck.
But you know what, dude? You know what he there's actually a box here for you too, dude, that I just keep on adding to. I got another one here's the thing real quick, just for news. If anybody's trying to get something to Tom at Shotgun Karaoke out in Finland, I have a box going and it keeps going. I'm going to probably close that up in about maybe a week or so. So if anybody has anything out there that they want to get to Finland, let me know. And next time I send something to the United Kingdom, bro, like I don't know who the fuck they think they are with their shipping. You know what I mean? Like $33 for a box that holds like a 6x9 carded figure. Well, $33, bro. Like, I mean,
think of
where are you guys? Are you guys on Jupiter? Like, what the fuck, man? It should not cost that much.
Back to I was putting because I was dusting, and you're putting all the figures back, and I'm looking at my first two Titty Bean figures, and I remember we're talking 2018, 2019, and being a douchebag, being like, dude, is there anything you can do about that shipping? And Titty said something that stuck with me because it's perfect, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here. This is just, in my opinion, like a perfect thing. He was like, I pay that shipping to get everything. And that one little piece of truth, you're like, yeah, you're right. You've got a beautiful collection. You've paid a lot to have those pieces shipped. For me to reach out and ask if you can do anything about that shipping, like, fuck me.
Straight up. You know what they did when I sent that one to the UK? They say, does he know that he's going to have to pay $26 to pick this up? And honestly, I don't know. He's about to find out, I guess. I mean, if that's a regular thing, but that's true, dude. Tom said the same thing from Shotgun Karaoke, dude. There's a list of countries, and I don't know how that's divided up, dude. The list is not all that long. There's definitely countries on there, and Finland and UK are the only two. And the UK, I believe that was like Northern Ireland, but those are the only two that I've had that problem with. But dude, can you imagine going down to the fucking post office? Oh, Belgium was another one because I sent something to Jevaho. They have to pay too. And he's like, hey man, just make sure that when you put it on the packing slip that it's a gift and that it's only worth like $5 because they get charged like, I guess how much it's worth or something. Like,
yeah, there's a duty fee. After, I know in Canada it's after $100 a duty fee begins.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I mean, fucking whatever. We talk about fucking shipping all the time, dude.
It's part of the beast. It's the belly of the beast. There's really no way around it. And my thoughts always, no matter how much I get angry on it, I'll always just be like, you know what, dude, I'm not hopping on my bike and fucking biking down to grab it. So I appreciate you knowing of a third-party service. Fuck the third-party service, but I appreciate that you know of them and that you're willing to go out of your way to drop the package off, because I can't go and get it. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Shopify charged them too much. You know what I really don't like about the shipping, dude? God. So anybody out there with a store, like comment or hit me up on the side and let me know like what the fuck, dude. So basically when I go to set my shipping, right, I can't set shipping. I want them to do it automatically, man. I want to be able to put in the box size and what the poundage is because I know what it is. And I want them to calculate what that exact shipping is, dude. I can't do that. I just have to put like a general one unless I put literally every single state in there, you know, but then I would have to look up like how much it costs to send something there. It just seems like a lot of legwork that's probably out there and available information already that I'm just missing. But I've fucked myself on the shipping multiple times already, dude. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it. It's like, it's taking the fun out of the fucking store for me because it's such a hassle, dude. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I know, and maybe that's the way it is, dude. Maybe I'm using the wrong site. Maybe people are like, well, why are you using fucking Big Cartel? Well, maybe it is, dude. I will shut it down fucking tonight if there's a better option, you know?
8-Bit Mike saying the same thing. Like, that's why he quit his store. You got Bliss Receptor saying, like, that's why he actually killed his collecting. And, like, some makers won't even ship out that way. But Porpoise brings up a really good point. You know, he's always worried about understating the values on international packages because if they get lost, both sides get left. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Great point. Wouldn't have, like, I don't really typically think about that, but yes, 100%. Yeah. You can always set up shipping profiles, stuff with Shopify. You can have box size assigned to products. So I have found the most accurate 12 by 12 box and just refunded the extra. Oftentimes there isn't though. Yeah. But again, like, I don't know. International buyers, like, we kind of know that that's what's kind of up. Like,
yeah, it's a fucking, you know, it's just one of those things, dude, which is why, you know, guys like Pamro and their, you know, and you're so blown away by their shipping costs that, like,
okay, but there's a name for it as well. And like, I try not to get really into it in the toy scene because it just is, it could upset somebody, it could bug somebody, it could come off the wrong way. But the dollar, right? Like, that's what I sometimes find kind of comical. Like, the USD, like the American market basically makes up most of the toy market to the point that a lot of makers are just going to price their stuff in USD anyways. But then there's like the Whopper test, right? Like, how many like Big Macs or how many Whoppers or how many pizzas could you basically buy with the same amount of money? The reality is if somebody in Mexico, Spain, Brazil is charging 50 USD for a piece, 50 USD is going to buy a couple more Whoppers there than it is in the US. Right? Like, that's something I've always kind of found a little strange when you're sitting there kind of being like, I get the market is saying that right now a 3.5 static action figure is worth 40, 50 USD, but why are you charging USD if you're not in America?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pirate ship. So Cool Cat Toys is saying Big Cartel with the pirate ship integration is what he uses, and he's had no problems with it so far. I will definitely try that. I did see at the bottom of the screen, Crumbs, you're gonna have to help me out with that, dude, because I looked at that honestly, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. It's like it's in beta and this and that. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck that means, you know? Like, anyways,
beta is usually like they haven't quite launched it yet. They're still working out the kinks. So the more people that start using it and figuring it out, the more that it starts kind of getting some user feedback.
Porpoise said that he lost a package down to Lynn's in Australia. That sucks, dude. Jesus Christ. That is not a cheap place to ship to. I know that much, dude. It seems like it goes, dude, I want to say just like for just like a regular size box now, it's like close to $30. Maybe it is over $30. Maybe more than that, dude. It's fucking nuts, man. Like, shipping just in general is just so stupid. Anyways, dude, so we have your collection to get to. It's going to take a while. Do you want to do this? Look at this piece real quick first, and then we'll get into that. Like, sure. I don't want to say this until the end. We got 48 people in here. You know what I mean? That's a good amount.
Yeah, man.
So this is what happened, dude. So I told you this story already with the shipping on this. This is fucking bizarre, dude, and I don't get it. All right? I don't get it as much as that fucking Australian breakdancer. Bro, have you seen that? I cannot wait to have Titty Bean and KO Toys on in 2 weeks and ask them, bro, I feel like I'm on candid camera every time I'm watching that. And there's a joke that I'm not getting. What is it? And it's real. And you guys have seen the memes. I mean, they're fucking hilarious. There's some absolute awesome ones out there. But I mean, I don't know. What were we talking about, dude? Why did I even go off on that?
I don't know, you were gonna show off a piece that you have, and suddenly you started talking about some fucking Australian breakdance shit.
Oh, it was confusing. That's what it was. The purchase was confusing. Jesus Christ. I'm glad tomorrow's Friday. Okay, so I live in Northern California. I live about 30 miles south of Sacramento, all right? East Bay, what they call it. If you're looking on a fucking map, you got to go to the fucking edge of the east to get this place in the East Bay, but that's what it's called, right? You throw Bay Area in there and everything's fucking more expensive. So that's how that happens, right? I'm not in the East Bay, dude. It takes an hour to get to San Francisco, probably 40 minutes to get to Berkeley. I'm not in the Bay. I'm outside the Bay. Anyways, I saw a dollar slice piece on there, and I said from a long time ago, dude, if I were to get a dollar slice piece, I want a slaughter bot because I've seen him before. I saw him post one that he found that he made a long time ago that had like metal on it, I believe, and I thought it was dope. I was like, fuck, man, how do I get one of those, right? Never seen one before. I'm fucking around on eBay a while ago, and I see this dude who's got 3 or 4 of them, and I'm like, oh shit, he's got 3 or 4 of them. They're all for the same price. That's very odd. I wonder if that's Dollar Slice himself selling those, right? And then I look at the name and I'm just like, oh, they're from Chico. I don't think he's in Chico. Actually, I know he's not in Chico, so that's probably not him. I look at this other account and they have, not only do they have a few Dollar Slice pieces, they have a bunch of Dead Bird Toys pieces, which I thought was odd. And the other thing they said was that eBay alerted me was that I had bought from that seller before. So I'd have to go back to my purchase and see what the fuck I bought from him. I don't know what it is. But anyways, they got the slaughter bot, right? And I see one. He's got like 3 or 4 of them, and one of them definitely looks better than the other one. Too Short Baby on the microphone. I'll tell you what, man. I love Too Short. That dude, you're right, man. Pride of Oakland, California. So I see this piece, and I want it, and I buy it. And the seller hits me up and says, oh, yeah. You know what, TD? That's just the way it is, though, man. The shipping is just part of the deal. That was a fucking phenomenal show, dude. I cannot wait to talk to you about it in a couple weeks. But phenomenal show, dude. Like, the shipping is what it is, man. I would say, you mark that up as marketing and say, hey, man, it cost me $40 to get my piece in front of people in Australia at a gallery, and that seems like dirt fucking cheap to me, honestly, dude. So whatever happens with the shipping, it is what it is, man. I think it's worth it in the end just for the exposure. I mean, you have way more than $40 worth of exposure there. So anyways, I buy this piece and it says it's from Chico, right? So I bought this thing probably 2 weeks ago. I said, perfect. It'll be here in time, for when Crumbs is on the show. And so time goes by, a couple days go by, and I'm thinking that's probably going to take a couple days to get here. A couple days go by, a week goes by, 10 fucking days go by, and I finally hit him up, and I'm just like, hey, man, you said that you were going to ship the next day. You definitely created the label the next day, but that's all that the post office says. It says that you've only created the label and they don't have the product yet. So he sends a message back and he says, yeah, XYZ, this is why it happened. I say, okay, gotcha, no problem. I end up getting an email yesterday morning early saying your package has shipped. It will be here on Friday. I said, okay, 2 days from Chico. That makes sense. Friday, bummer it's going to miss the show, but we'll take a look at it, another week. And like a couple hours later, I get an updated shipping saying it's going to be delivered today. And I'm like, well, how the fuck does that happen? He just shipped it and it's going to be here today now. Like maybe, and then I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe he did same day delivery. That must've cost a fortune. But maybe that's what happened. I get the package. The package is not from Chico. The package is from Benicia, and historically speaking, Benicia was the capital of California at one time. If you didn't know that, now you know. Look Benicia up on a map. I work right on the other side of the bridge in Martinez is where my home office is. Anyways, it came from Benicia. Now, Benicia, I pass through Benicia twice a day, once to work, once coming home. If I'm going that way, anything towards the Bay Area, I go right through there. So the fact that this one came from literally 20 minutes down the freeway and not where I thought it came from, I just don't get it, man. I don't think it really fucking matters, honestly, but I just don't get it. It's weird to me. The piece is a whole other story. Okay, so let's take a look at the piece first. Now, this is a dollar slice piece. This is a slaughter bot. Look at that. It's fucking great, dude. It's fucking great, right? The legs articulate, the paint on that. It's great, dude. I love that.
It actually looks really nice.
It's a nice piece, man. It's a very nice piece. The paint work up here, you know, on all sides, it is big, you know, clack. We talk about the clack all the time. It's got the clack. You know, the paint details on the legs there. It's great. It's what I wanted it to be. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. Right? It's great. Now, the other ones that the guy had were solid body colors. Okay. Now, this one, it also has some glitter in the arms there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Fucking really nice job there. I don't know if it glows or not. The other ones that he had, it does glow. See? I mean, and it's even better now because it glows. And what I really like about this is that I'm seeing is that the painted parts are actually glowing a little bit different than the other paint casted parts. Okay, so see that?
Actually, but I want to bring that up because I feel like a lot of folks don't actually realize this. And as somebody who paints more than I cast, if you mix, let's say, glow in the dark, just glow in the dark paint or powder with, let's say, a fluorescent pink paint, it'll actually glow orange. If you mix it with a purple, it'll actually glow a little bit blue. So essentially, like it can affect the way that the paint will end up glowing if there was glow and then a fluorescent. So if they use like a fluorescent pink, just from my experience.
Yeah. But the body glows and the head glows, you know, under the other parts, which is dope, dude. And as it loses the glow, it kind of turns this kind of watermelony, fucking pinkish, and it looks very cool, dude. There's going to be some cool. It kind of goes down into an orange almost, but there's going to be some pictures of this one for sure. But it's sick. It's a very cool piece. I love it. Okay, so then the seller drops this one on me about this piece before I got it, and it put me in a conundrum right away. Okay, so I originally bought this, and then he sent me a message and he said, "Hey, I have 2 more. Do you want to take the other 2 at a discount?" And I said, "No, I'll probably just take the one for now." And he says, "Okay." That was a magnet. That nothing came off there. It was a magnet. All right, everybody.
I thought one of the legs popped out.
Just fucking relax. It was bad. I hit it with my hand, for Christ's sakes. Son of a bitch. Anyways, there's magnets on the feet. Okay, now the only other person that I've seen do this is Cronenbuilder, and obviously Dollar Slice has been around way longer than Cronenbuilder. This right here, if you have something a glass or a metal base, that's fucking dope, right?
Ooh, you could hang them from like the ceiling or on a wall, anywhere. You could put a nail somewhere and just hang them from there.
Any place metal.
Any place metal.
Wow.
Anywhere metal, he'll stick.
So here's the thing that the seller drops on me, dude. He sends me a note, and comically, he says, "Do you know anything about Dollar Slice?" I know a thing or two about Dollar Slice. Not too much. Why do you ask? He goes, do you know who Funcy is? Yes. Rest in peace. R.I.P. I do know who Funcy is. He goes, well, this piece was given to Funcy from Dollar Slice. Before Funcy passed, he gave it back to Dollar Slice. This individual got this from Dollar Slice, and I don't know what fashion. I don't know if they're friends, if he bought it from them. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what it is. Regardless, it was now this guy's selling it for I don't know what reason. I keep saying guy, it could be a female, I don't know. The name looked like it was a male. But so now I'm kind of in a predicament, right? Like, number one, you know damn well that Dollar Slice does not probably want me owning this, right? And whatever, dude. It's not like I'm going to do anything with it. It's fucking, I love it, dude. I think it's a great piece. Me personally, though, dude, I honestly don't think that I fucking really have a right to own this. And maybe that's going a little bit too far with it. But truly, what's going to happen with this one, and people may disagree. They may fucking say that's right the thing. But that's the right thing to do. But what's going to happen is when I go to DesignerCon in November, I'm going to walk right up to Dollar Slice, and whether he accepts it or not, I'm either going to hand this to him or I'm going to leave it at his booth. One of those two is happening, but it's not mine. I will gladly take pictures of it and document that I own this at one time, but it's going back to him. And honestly, dude, I think that's what should happen to it. With that kind of history, I know if I was in his shoes and I, had a personal friend like that pass away and someone tried to give it back to me, I'd probably take it. And that, I'll say one more thing about this because we're fucking closing doors and moving on. And then we can move on because I know you want to. I can see it in your pretty little face. That episode was, I believe, episode 81. Okay? We're fucking moving on from that shit. Episode 81 is not up anymore. If you want to see episode 81 with the Brulio shit and the fucking DSB shit, you got to fucking hit me up personally, man. It's not up there for public viewing anymore. Why is that? Because I made that choice. That's why. Because it's shit that I'm not proud of. It's bad karma. It's, no matter what you think of the dude, it's something out there that's probably more for me than him, that it's not something that I want out there. So it's removed and we're moving on. Now, what he chooses to think about that, I don't care. He probably doesn't think anything about that, and that's fine. But for the show, that is a closed door. All right. That's a done deal. That whole fucking thing is over with, man. We're fucking moving on. With that being said, you coming back fits fucking right into that, because that's what's going to fucking happen. And we're going to start fucking fresh, and we're going to fucking just walk through a new open door. So that's what we're doing. I'm ready for your fucking tour. Bro, real talk. Thank you for fucking, I know the history that you guys have, and I know it's not easy to hear stuff like that, man. And that's adult of you to sit there and listen to that. And I'm glad you did.
There's going to be a few tonight that I think would actually potentially surprise people, because at the end of the day, man, there's folks that maybe I don't get along with. And at the end of the day too, we were talking about this the other night, man. What always kind of bites is if I don't really want to talk about it and put it out there, and the other person decides that they want to run their mouth and put it out there, it's out there at that point. I'm not going to sit there and explain how long I've known somebody for or the history I might have with them. But if somebody like Dollar Slice, who has 15,000 people, for some reason has an opinion of Crumbs, who has 1,500 followers, maybe there's a little bit more history there than just they oddly don't like each other. Because I always find it a little strange that somebody with his follower size gives two fucks about anything that I have to say.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean, man. It's just, it's stirring up stuff left and right, dude. It's not healthy for anybody, man. And I think, as much as you and I don't care for some people, I don't think as much as we say what we say on the show and what we say even behind closed doors, do we wish stuff would really happen? Probably not.
No.
I think, that being said, I think it's healthy to move on. Akashic Records asked him, did he say why Funcy gave it back? Funcy unfortunately passed away, and I think he gave it back to John when he said that, or when he found out that he was going to pass away. So that's how that happened. Anyway, and then that's basically the whole reason why I want to get it back to John, is because that seems to me like a very sentimental piece. But that,
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, dude, I mean, is that an olive branch being extended? I mean, he's not going to like come on the show or anything, but I do want to make it be known that I do want to make it known that that chapter's over, man. Like you can think, and if you want to wallow in that hate and drink that poison every day, you go ahead, man. But for me and Crumbs, we're not doing that, dude. We're drinking vitamin water from here on out and bagged milk.
It sounds lame, and I can't remember necessarily who it was, but they maybe misinterpreted it. But I mentioned the one day that like there's pieces of my collection I have on the shelf because I don't hold the maker against them. And all I really mean about that is there was definitely a point in my life that if there was a maker that for some reason we had butted heads, there was a disagreement between us, I wasn't like in the cut of their jib anymore, I had a hard time looking at their toys. I used to have a box of those. At some point or another, Dollar Slice said, sure, I'll take those off your hand. And I sent him a big old box of toys. And then going forward, I have things like a Gula Gaba sitting on my shelf. And I look at it and I think to myself, you know what? That dude made a great piece. At the end of the day, as much as maybe some shit happened, and Worst Villain, man, same homie. We can have a chat about that afterwards, but much respect, dude. And likewise, I was talking to me about that even earlier. Big part of why earlier this year, I was burnt the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
And some of you guys know this and some of you don't. And I was even telling them about how Death and Strawberries, the work I was doing at that time in order to make sure that I could actually just like keep my apartment, keep food on the table, was kicking my ass. It was hard fucking work to the point that I was messaging a dude, one of the only other people I know who deals with stressful, intensively physically demanding labor, saying, dude, how can I make sure that I can make it into work tomorrow because I can't afford to not have this gig? And then you're trying to come on here and toys. It fucking slaps you, man. Like, unfortunately, like, and you know, I really appreciate you saying that, man, because not many people would do that. So thank you very, very much, and I appreciate you doing that publicly. That's why I'm not going to just be like, oh, I'll message you in the DMs. It's like, no, I appreciate that, man. I want to make sure I touch on that. Thank you very, very much, Worsville. That's very, very kind of you, man. Speaking of toys and hard times,
you know, and I'll just say one more thing real quick, dude, about Worst Villain Ever, dude. Thank you for saying that, man. You know, Worst Villain Ever, and I had our first interaction probably around the G.I. Joe show, and it was not a good one, man. Everybody knows about that show, and that was just a fucking mess in its own right. There was some really cool pieces in there, but we really got off to a bad start. Ever since then, you know, we kissed and made up, man. And I swear to God, man, that dude has been a fucking solid ass stand-up dude since that time, man. And I think that is what it's all about, dude. Like, we don't have to see eye to eye on everything. We really fucking don't, man. But one thing we can see eye to eye on is that we really want to see everybody do well, whatever that means, man. Does that mean selling out and making stuff and reselling out repeatedly? Fucking A, sure. If that's what you think it means. Does that mean waking up, you know, happy and healthy every day? Fucking A, yeah, it means that too, man. But I mean, the spirit of it is that it should be a cool place to come to fucking get away from all the other bullshit that's going on, dude, which is only going to get fucking worse here as we get further along in the year, at least here in the United States, probably worldwide as well, I would think. But, you know, I came into this place in 2020 to get away from the bullshit, man. I fucking hate it when people start posting political shit or anything like that, because that's what I came here to get away from, man. And I think a lot of people understand that. I think a lot of people respect that. And I hope that we can keep it that way going forward, man. You know, it's just fucking, it's one of those things, dude, where it's like, we all need to fucking exist as one, dude. We are such a small group. To divide a small group like this, dude, is fucking stupid. That is the dumbest thing, dude, whether it's Dollar Slice, Worst Villain, whoever, it doesn't matter, dude. Anybody, like, there is no room for the bullshit, dude. We're too small for that, man. We're too small, dude.
I've always felt, dude, this is what ends up happening. And this is just my observation and personal opinion. All the kids run out to recess, right? The problem is when you first see the toy scene, it can seem like you're entering the playground, everybody's playing out at recess, and you're like, everybody's playing basketball. I guess I gotta play basketball. No, homie, I promise you don't. If your jam is going to school with your Game Boy and playing Pokemon in the corner, you'll find some other kids who are down with doing Game Boy and Pokemon. You want to go play Foursquare? There'll be some kids that want to do that. And all I mean by that is just because you see that this is the community and the scene does not mean that you have to all of a sudden bend or try and mold yourself to try and be some person you're not, because that's just going to build resentment and anger and frustration. There's a lot of different freaking sub factions in this toy scene, man. Like, if you want to, and I mean this with all sincerity, if your jam is you like being an asshole, you will find some people who like being assholes too. You can hang out with those people. It's fine. Like, it's all good, man. There's enough room for everybody to find their homies to be able to.
There is, dude. And the thing is, dude, it's like what everybody does is so fucking subjective to everybody else. How can you say that one thing is good or 100%. Bad or fucking, you know, or it's like, how can you say that? You can't say that, dude. That's why, you know, a lot of people say, I think what your show is missing is honest reviews. And I'm like, an honest review to who though, dude? You know what I mean? Like an honest review to you, because like if you see something fucked up on it, you want me to say, oh man, you want me to point that out? Like, bro, I'm not pointing out shit that's just fucked up unless it's totally fucking egregious. And we've seen that before, right?
Yes. But okay, but here's where things get messy. I like the last of runs. The last pullable mold, most of you guys know, it's usually going to be a little bit rougher around the edges. I usually like that. That's a little bit of a sign of what's going on with that piece. But the problem is that, like, realistically, if you put yourself in a category where there's a certain level of craftsmanship, and there are certain people who are making things, and theirs are coming out at a certain, like, we were talking about LM9 earlier, man, and I mentioned it. LM9 is meticulous to a T, to the letter, in his entire process. I was fortunate enough to hang out with that dude this winter, and while we were doing some molds, it was the same formula to a T, measured to a T on the first one, the second one. It didn't matter how many molds he was doing. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, you've done hundreds of molds, and you are meticulous about this. Yeah. And I guess that's where it gets tough, is at the end of the day, anybody can cast up some stuff, and anybody can enjoy that stuff. It does not diminish what it is. But when we start getting into, like, even when we talk about articulated figures, even myself, I'm like, I get why somebody would want to do that at some point. There is something interesting and impressive about being able to make a mold that's almost going to be sometimes like a gang mold. Or if you look at Titties, how he's got the guns as vents and hands here, and you're like, yeah, you know what? It's cool to be able to cast a figure, but what do you do after that? How do you push yourself? How do you push your craft to the next stage? You see if you could cast actually a little arm with no bubbles and with the fingers coming out perfect, and a leg, and matching the pigments, so you mixed up enough, so you measured it so it actually filled the entire thing, so the whole guy is the same color, and you know what I mean? It's like that can definitely be an element. The other part of it is, like, look at Grody's Shogun. People actually like Grody's paint app. He applies a Grody style of paint app to his pieces. You're kind of paying for that. I sometimes love seeing the flaws in a piece, or sometimes I even feel privileged that a piece ended up in my hands or possession because somebody didn't think it was good enough. I've got two quote unquote scrap pieces that are up on my shelf that I got to get one over to Yuckamuck and one over to Death and Strawberries, where it's like Yuckamuck had actually sent me two pieces that they thought were like not worth charging anybody, threw them into a box. They were just scraps, and you play with them and ship them back off to somebody else. And it's all subjective. Artists are always learning it now. And then here's where it gets tough, though. And here's where I feel like people just need to be honest. This isn't even a matter of anything else, right? We have all been that dude that Sunday night, we have a project due Monday morning, and we're just starting at Sunday night. And we all know what that looks like when the project is presented Monday morning. It's a little unfortunate when some people definitely do it's Sunday night after dinner, right before bed. They go, oh, I got a cast I got to get out for Monday morning. Come on. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with backing out of a show if you're not done. I see it happen all the time.
And somebody still might like that, though, because it's subjective. So somebody still might see it and they like it.
Exactly.
But it feels like a bit of a slap in the face when I'm seeing that you didn't care about what you made.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is on the flip side of that is, for all we know, that piece sold, and for all we know, it sold right away.
100%.
So it's just, 100%. It's one of those things, dude. It is what it is. There's a lot of personal taste involved, I think, in this, arena as it is, which is where the, everything being subjective comes in. Anyways, that was a good fucking 50-minute intro to the show. We should probably look at your you got a fucking collection there, man. Now, if you guys know about Crumbs' collection at all or seen his post, dude, there is a wide range of stuff. Of course, the Swampy stories. He is an absolute expert on Swampy, I would say, and its origins. I'm sure we'll see some of that from One Trick, and then probably a bunch of others too. But whenever you're ready, man. Yeah, go ahead.
One Trick's next week, right?
One Trick is here next week, dude. That is gonna be crazy. I got One Trick next week. Strike that. We got One Trick next week, and we have Titty Bean and KO Toys the following week going over Mint on Card. And then the following week, I believe, is Ryan Lintner, another collector tour. The collector tours have been kicking ass, dude. Marketeer Mike, the one that was a great one, dude. That was a fucking chimney. Bro, that was like spilled oil on the engine. That was thick. Man, I'll let you relax for a second, dude. It looks like you need it. But
I was going to say Ryan Linter's collection. Ryan Linter's a beautiful collection.
Oh, beautiful collection, dude. Marketeer Mike, his setup is fucking awesome, dude. The way that he has them, in color. Like, it's just like fucking eyegasm, like right when you look at it. So anyways, dude, whenever you're ready, man, we will jump into the collection tour. We will do some giveaways at the end of the show, whenever that is. And then we'll get the fuck on up out of here. How about this cup, dude? I've been using this cup a lot just because it's really big. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Just if someone asked you when they said, you got 5 seconds to tell me, 1, 2, 3, go.
I had to make sure I turned my volume down so it didn't just
There you go.
back 1,000 times. It might be doing feedback right now anyways, and I have no idea.
No, you're good.
Honestly, I'm going to say Jingle All the Way, man.
Good one. Good one. Yes, dude. Yes. So this is obviously going to be a fucking, this will be a giveaway question towards the end of the year as we get closer to Christmas. But Batman Returns, Christmas Vacation, yes. Gremlins, yes. Die Hard, yes. It is in fact a Christmas movie. I'm interviewing Ryan Reynolds. Die Hard, yeah. I'm Home Alone. Maybe Home Alone 2. Always good. Christmas Vacay, classic. I like the old, fucking Rudolph shit.
I saw Batman Returns come up, and a fun thing with Batman Returns. So if you're ever curious why the Batman movies got really crappy, it's because McDonald's ended up actually pairing with Batman, did the toys. A bunch of parents ended up basically complaining that in doing so, it almost insinuated that Batman was a children's movie. But if you've seen it, of course, Tim Burton, not really a kid's movie. And the backlash was so hard that the studio was like, we're not going that dark ever again. So they basically chose crappy Batman movies in favor of McDonald's toys. You guys are going to see a lot of Batman through my collection this evening. Admittedly, Batman's a biggie for me, and a big portion of that is probably because growing up, big nerd, I think a lot of you can probably relate to this a lot. My dad was one of those people that was just very quiet, but at the same time, there'd be the odd time that you can kind of get little glimpses of things they liked. And Batman was oddly one of those like dark, cool things. Tim Burton was something that he actually liked. And for whatever reason, when I became like a teenager and I started reading a lot of Batman comics, I went to go visit my parents. They would often end up like, he would ask me like, what's Batman up to these days? And so that's just like a nice thing for me where I just have a really big attachment to Batman. And yeah, so you're going to see a lot of Batman shit throughout here tonight.
Fucking A. Fucking A. Cool. Dre said he's late to the party. Dre, you didn't miss much. Let's see. We reviewed a dollar slice piece. Crumbs is back. We're about to see his tour. We love everybody. And you can't see the dollar slice episode on YouTube. But besides that, just getting started, man. Welcome to the show, my dog. Whenever you're ready, dude, I'll put you on full screen. And you're gonna do the other camera with your phone.
Yeah.
We will flip that around. I wanted to comment on something. Oh, leave it up to fucking Folklore to drop something like Emmett Otter. What the fuck is Emmett Otter, dude? I don't know what that is. Probably some rare show that you have every episode on every type of format possible, I would think. And then you sold it all and then recollected it. Maybe that's what Emmett Otter is. Anyways, I'm going to remove you from the screen and add you back to the screen on toy tour mode. Now, you are on mute. If you didn't know that, you know that now. And I'm going to put you on full screen when you actually start.
So I've unmuted myself here, but I
There
don't
you
hear you so far. So I want to make sure.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Because I'm not hearing.
That's a no.
Say something?
Yes. Hello.
Damn.
No.
So,
Hmm.
why? See, and here we thought the other night that we got this all sorted. And my mic is going.
Oh, Folklore says it's a Muppet Christmas movie. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Gotcha. Okay.
Ooh.
Sounds actually.
Well, this
probably
might
pretty
put
cool.
us in a pickle, man. But you can hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, yeah.
Okay. See.
Yep.
Say something?
Do you want to go solo? No. Yeah, that's weird, man. I'm not sure why that's
Sorry,
happening.
man.
No, that's cool.
I don't know what the heck.
So, do you have to?
Audio turned all the way up.
Maybe I unmute
Oh,
your other. Maybe I unmute your other mic.
Oh no.
You there? You're paused. That's weird.
I'm so sorry about this.
Oh, there you go. You were paused for a minute. You were paused for a minute.
I was paused?
Yeah. I can hear you though.
But see, I can't hear you. I can only hear you coming through my speakers.
Okay. Well, I have your original one that you were. Okay, so now that's off. You've turned that off. Now try it. No?
No. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to leave, man, and I'll hop back in.
Yeah, you got it. Cool Cat, have you tried turning it on and off again? Bro, that's about the extent of my knowledge when it comes to computer repair. That's what I always go for. Turn it off, turn it on. So we'll get that figured out. What he was going to do was use his phone as the camera since he usually goes from his computer, which is cool. So anyways, yeah, there's a lot of pieces in there, man. I don't know how many he's actually going to show tonight, but there's quite a few. You can see on the shelves behind him, but then he's got them divided up pretty well. He's got them divided up pretty well. So the giveaway for this week, the question was, name something that you own that means a lot to you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the coolest thing. That one started off kind of slow, and then really started to pick up some steam yesterday and this morning. There is got some really, really cool. Neckrath said has a crocheted Motu figure. FKD says an antique toy novelty Fatima, the harem dancing girl. It was given to me after an old friend passed away. Won't part with it. Lots of that in the giveaway about stuff that they had got from people that had passed away or something like that. Those things always add a lot more to a piece. Plastic Vomit says he has a mint on card vintage Greedo. I don't really collect carded figures, though I do have a bunch That figure, though, is my favorite figure in the vintage Star Wars line. Something about the generic space alien look he has appeals to me. And he actually said he has a couple of those. Hey, what's up, dude? I see you in the waiting room. Hello. Can you hear me?
For a quick second there, and then for some reason I keep dropping you, man.
That's weird. So no volume. You cannot hear me?
I swear I could hear you for a quick second. Oh, I am so sorry, man.
That's all right. Can you hear me now?
I heard that.
Yeah.
And then cuts out.
Oh, that's weird.
I have no idea.
What's the deal? Yeah, you're paused again, dude. It's like I can hear you. I don't think you can hear me, though. Check this. This was a funny one. Fur Dog says, the axe from my childhood Buzz-Off figure. I no longer have the figure as he was lost in a move, but somehow has the accessory for 35 plus years. Can you hear me?
I'll hear you for like a second, and then it cuts right back out.
That is weird. It says your microphone's on my end. Barrio Boba says, of all the Kenner Boba Fetts he has, 2 come to from a best childhood friend. LRH bootlegs, my Heroes of the World Fighter bootleg turtles. They look dumb. They were way smaller than Playmates, but I absolutely love them. Hit all the nostalgia feels as a kid. All the TMNT boys I had were bootlegs. Still hunting down some of those, but they have a special place. So very cool. General Porpoise says, a fleshy and blobby Swampy from One Trick, a Feldspar from Crystar, from Jimmy Folklore, and a Douglas from none other than Crumbsblunt, which is the wooden robot figure that Crumbs makes. Can you hear me? You're on mute. Well, all right. 3 gifts from some pretty cool folks. My childhood stuff is long gone, but even recent-ish acquisitions can hold some pretty special meanings. I agree. Glass Knife Company says his favorite is a monster in my pocket with dog teeth marks on it. A friend gave it to me one night in mid-high school days. I was already getting nostalgic for the good old days, and he thought I'd like that. I did. Not sure how I still have it years later. I lost a lot of my stuff. That friend passed away about 4 or 5 years ago, making it extra sentimental. It's my only monster in my pocket, but even if I got more, it'd obviously still be my favorite. So cool story there.
Cool story there. Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Hi.
Oh my goodness, man. I am so sorry about that. That's embarrassing.
Well, you know what? That's fucking strike one, pal. So, Terrible Toy Works. I'll just repeat it real quick, dude. Yeah, you didn't miss much. Crumbs is back. We apologize to Dollar Slice. We reviewed one of his pieces. You can't see that episode on YouTube anymore, and Crumbs is about to do a tour. So besides that, we're just kind of getting started. Terrible Toy Works, dude, what a fucking beast that dude is. I love that dude, and that account is amazing. So tell me, what was going on there with the audio, dude? Is something that you fixed, or you just stumbled on something?
Yeah. No. So for anybody in future use, for whatever reason, you can't set that you're using a headset. You have to pretend that you're using USB audio.
I'm sorry. Say that again. I was reading the chat. You cannot use USB audio. Is that what you said?
You have to use USB audio. It won't let you select that you're using a headset audio.
Gotcha.
So that seems to be the issue.
Dude, I like how it's like all fucking bullshit, and then the next screen is you just casually firing up a dart. Like, all right, let's get to work. Let's get to work.
Well, admittedly, because you know what, we were even talking about it. It came up. I think this is what's fucking so cool, man. You mentioned One Trick is going to be on next week, and then the week after that, Titty Bean's going to be on with Kaio Toy Co. And those two dudes, man, admittedly, they're actually, I've got them sitting up on here. We were talking about this the other day, too. The flipping around mode, mirror my camera.
Yeah. So, are you starting the tour right now?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on full screen. Just
Fair. Well, this part's just kind of lame. But admittedly, there's a little group of dudes from the original beginning of Toys, and I've got a little El Camino showing up here. It's kind of like the manly breast. And that's just because that's actually going to be Vomiting Droids, Bootleg Surnames, Skull and Void, One Trick Pony, and Titty. And those are like the first like dudes that I would say like got really, really close with. I mean, when everybody comes into my apartment, I consider this the wall of like forewarning. So you're kind of prepared of what kind of a dude lives here.
Okay. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I had I used to drive a 1986 El Camino. It was all black. And as far as cars go, that one is by far my biggest regret that I do not have anymore. Shame on me.
You know, a buddy of mine at one point ended up actually trading a T-Bird for a fucking snowmobile.
What year Thunderbird? Because I had one of those too.
Oh my freaking god! It was an 80-something.
Oh yeah, that's
86.
That's an older one. Yeah, mine was like I believe that one had to have been like an early 90s, maybe late 80s, something like that, but had that kind of rounded look to it. My stepdad always had a business car, and it was always a fucking Thunderbird, like a new Thunderbird, like every 2 years. Anyways, dude, keep going.
Yeah. No, don't be, but man, that dude, we don't see too much of anymore. Trash Can Monster.
Straight up.
And definitely an artist that I used to really, really like the work of. Canadian homie here, some Toxic Fumes Toys, and of course, Goblin Mob.
Fun fact for you, Toxic Fumes Toys never been on the show.
Yo, okay, so
do we need to fucking change that like ASAP or what, dude? I was thinking about him the other day.
You know what? I'm gonna fire actually over to this piece because I've mentioned this piece before. This dude, Toxic Fumes Toys. Dude, I grabbed a couple pieces off of him back in the day. So this 5 points fucking piece right here. Oh, frig. Now, here's where things get shady. And if we're putting the past behind us, so at this time, I would have actually been friendly with Dollar Slice, and I'd had a situation that, you know, text is weird. We don't always understand tone with Toxic Fumes Toys. And I kind of ran it by Dollar Slice, and Dollar Slice was like, yeah, that's some fucking weird shit. Fuck that dude. And I was like, yeah, fuck that dude. So being a total asshole, and I'm also picturing Toxic Fumes Toys being in a punk band and stuff, right? I'm picturing kind of like this dude. I've got an image in my brain. And so, of course, I ended up messaging Toxic Fumes Toys and wasn't the nicest. And their response was to actually hit me up and be like, send this freaking dope package with a little note saying, hey, I think this guy matches your guy. I want you to have him, and I'm sorry for the mix-up. And he sends this rad-ass bat that is the same pour as this sick skull freaking 5.5 figure standing in the background. And then I end up seeing the dude on, oh my goodness, Abe's Toys on Tap. And he's like the nicest dude ever. And you realize how absolutely incorrect you were about this individual. And I will be apologizing to him for like the rest of my life, man. Because Toxic Fumes Toys is actually just like such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person with not an angry bone in their body.
Yeah. No, he's cool, man. I really, you know, I have a wide variety of Toxic Fumes stuff, dude. And he's, you know, to me, when I think about that, you know, I'm going to call him the fucking Toronto Toy Syndicate. He's definitely a fucking main player. How about that name, dude? Wouldn't that be dope? The Toronto Toy Syndicate. Somebody, is that fucking, that probably already exists.
So it's basically called Toyronto. And admittedly, a large portion of my collection probably started from Toyronto because it was just easy to get pieces down in Toronto, right? Being so close. And that would consist of like Magoob, Toxic Fumes Toys, Angry Beast, LM9. I'm going to do that flashlight too. This is what you get for bringing a stupid stoner onto your show. But this this shelf here is actually going to be all Canadian makers, man. This entire, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to actually fill it up, and now I'm actually I didn't realize it'd be so freaking dark in my apartment. I clearly did not plan for this. But this probably would actually be one of my first grabs, and this is actually going to be a Magoob.
Yes, I like that.
That's a huge guy.
Oh, that is very cool. That's from Magoob?
Yeah, so admittedly,
Tell me.
I'm going to pull it out. This thing's a beast, man.
Yeah.
And it was actually from a decon, and it didn't sell. And I saw it on his page and just asked him if it was still around, and he said, yep. So I ended up snagging one of those. And then the MTSR robots, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the packs that these would have come in back in the day, like the little miniatures, and they were basically like a Star Wars ripoff. Now, this piece here actually is fucking, probably, it should almost be on the Grail shelf. Its name is Egg Thing. And this was designed, molded, and casted by somebody who was 10 years old at the time.
Wow. What?
Yeah, so Magoob at the time was dating somebody, and their child, for a gift from Magoob, ended up making them this Egg Thing figure, and Magoob liked it enough that he ended up actually showing them how to mold and cast them and sign a bunch of backers for them, and it's just this egg with a big giant ass for some reason, because kids are random as hell, and how do you pass up a big bootied egg?
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. That's a cool little. That looks like a little fucking designer toy. Is what that looks like to me. Yeah.
Admittedly, I lucked out. Admittedly, this past winter, LM9 and Dre were kind enough to invite me out to a little like coffee gathering of Angry Beast, LM9, Toxic Fumes toys, and of course, like a bunch of you toy guys get it. Like the jerks just like toss a bunch of beautiful like little resin pieces out on the table, being like, "Hey, help yourself." And so I find that's definitely one of those things where, and you get this, man, like when you're tidying your collection and you're touching things, and you start thinking about the people that you were linking up with when you grab those things.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I actually have a couple of pieces like that. Didn't come from them directly, but at one point, Hella and Fletch and myself had gone down to a toy show in San Jose, and I snagged a couple pieces out there. But part of those pieces, honestly, dude, I can't really remember what pieces they were, but I know I was with them when I got them. And that's kind of the point of that. But very cool, dude. I saw a lot of those posted. I think you guys had posted some of that. And I was just a jealous little bitch. I was like, oh man, can you imagine being there with those fucking guys?
It's an odd one, man. It feels almost a bit surreal. You definitely just kind of shut up and observe. This dude here too, he comes and goes. Think outside the toy box, man. He had made a couple of Vaders, and I asked him about it. And knowing that I like Vaders, I kind of explained what I wanted, and like he ended up casting that dude up, and I just think it's fucking gorgeous, man. There's something about that placement of the little red in the chest that always makes me think of like a little heart.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. Just real quick, just a little side note, dude. I think I missed something in the comments. Somebody's talking about muscle cars. Retrozone Neon says Chevelles are a dream car for me. I love fucking muscle cars, dude. That is going to be my my big purchase of the year next year. Is a muscle car. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, dude, keep going, man. My bad.
No, don't be. Modulicious. They were actually at Fan Expo last year. Nice dudes. And actually, this guy back here, man, that technically is from Pocket Toy Co. No, fucking Pocket Salsa. My goodness. He saw that these dudes actually, it's, I'm trying to think of the name of the brothers right now. It's like, I'm going to have to pull it up. But he saw that it was a black and white one and that they're actually from Toronto. And this vinyl is so freaking cool, man. I feel like we don't actually see like an action figure vinyl too often.
That is sick, dude. Fuck, and I'm trying to remember who Because you're right, dude. I think I did see those posts. What's the scale of that, dude? Is that like is that 5 to 6?
Probably about 5 inches because of the horn, but otherwise almost like a, probably 6.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's super sick. That's a fucking great marble on that.
Well, admittedly, like this Frank here was actually LM9 was kind enough to meet up with me last year after Fan Expo, and I was able to grab that off of him, where it's got like the Flintstone body with the Frankenstein head. And his casts, man, like we've talked about it before. I don't know necessarily, like, well, they just feel different than a lot of other resin pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I remember when he was selling those. That was a small run, and actually, yeah, dude, that's another LM9 right there too, huh?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to grab one of those around. That would have been from the Clutter magazine show.
Nice. Okay.
And then, admittedly, this guy here is another Toxic Fumes Toys one, man. The Tromer. Which and then
that mushroom right in front of him, or is that a display stand?
So the mushroom's actually LM9 as well, and I think he actually originally sculpted those for Game of Shrooms.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fuck, that is sick, dude.
And then, of course, some Von Fake name chilling out in the front here.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
And that guy, of course, has some glow, too. The pros and cons, man. I almost need, like, the clapper.
Yeah.
And these guys here are actually from Acid 9.
Oh, nice.
BC boy. Yeah, beautiful paint apps on those, man. And actually, this artist here, Toronto is terrible for this, man. No idea who made the Pieta piece, but I ended up painting it up, of course. I just did a quick little gold and red pour on it. But the fact that there was no name, this is a local artist selling this at one of the shops here in town. And you're like, how do you guys not know the artist name on this thing? This thing is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay. Let's back up for a second, dude. Who made that?
No name. Like, they did not, for some reason, the local store selling this, and there's been a couple times this has happened to me, and you'll see it a couple more times. For some reason, they just don't have, like, the business card or the artist's name. You'll ask them, and they'll be like, I can't remember who dropped that off. I'll have to look, sorry. If you're back in, and you're like, oh, okay. I don't know why you just don't, like, you must have to pay somebody for what they just sold, so, like, but okay.
So what you got to do, man, is you got to make up a better story than that. You got to be like, hey, the shop owner told me that just one day it just appeared on the shelf. They couldn't find any paperwork for it. And you're like, oh, okay, so I had to have it because I think Jesus put it there.
Well, here's where things get funny, right? Like, so this piece here, I couldn't tell you. But then for some reason, this piece here was at a local gallery, this fucking tooth. And the reason why I said this fucking tooth was because I'm looking at it, I'm going, yeah, you know what? It's a local artist. I'll grab it. I get home, and I see on the bottom that it's made in China.
Oh.
And I go on Google, and I type in tooth, like, stress toy, and they're fucking, like, 5 cents a piece for, like, 100. And you're like, did some motherfucker marker a smile on a fucking, like, Temu tooth, and I fell for it? Like, are you shitting me right now?
I like that Dre Frank hanging right there, too. Those are chunky. Those are good.
So Dre actually ended up doing that to me when I met up with him and Grayskull Toys in, I believe, probably like September or October of last year.
Some bootleg sewer mutant right there, man. Woo!
Bootleg sewer mutant is, I don't know if I mentioned, he was also part of El Camino, or is part of El Camino. Probably one of my favorite artists, man. Just a surreal individual. That's the best way I can put it. A surreal individual. He is not of planet Earth. And, you know, this is a prime example of a maker that maybe it was life, maybe it was the scene didn't necessarily respond to it in the way that they had maybe hoped or would have wanted. But anybody I know who has seen a Brat after loves them. And it's one of those moments where you're kind of sitting there being like, fuck, like I wish this maker hadn't have maybe allowed the initial response to dictate how much they continue to work on it or something. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it has nothing to do with that. I don't know anything. Fuck me.
Dude, but you know what? I think I'm in the same boat. When I first started coming around, man, I saw the bootleg sewer review and I saw those pieces. Let me take you off.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. What the fuck am I doing? It's my first day here. Sorry. When he saw, or like the first time I saw those, I honestly, dude, I wasn't really into them. I saw them and I'm just like, those are okay. But then you start like kind of looking at, remember what he sculpted them, and what they are. And then you start to, see who he is as an artist and what he's about. And all of a sudden, those pieces are some of my favorite that I have, dude. They're awesome. Didn't I get them from you? I think I got them from you.
I think this might be one of my favorite ones I've casted so far.
That is awesome, dude.
Yo, you want to see something? Wow. So, speaking of loving those brats, man, and this isn't even all of them, because, of course, there's certain folks that I've gifted some to, but look at this pile of brats, homie. And I was telling you this actually earlier. This is a testament, in my opinion, to somebody making an insanely good mold. The fact that this dude retired this mold because he was like, yeah, I'm not getting good casts anymore. And then meanwhile, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, and boom. Just, it's like, yo, you retired that mold and it's still just pumping out more and more brats. Like,
whoa, wait a minute. Yes, stop. That pink and green one, dude. Let's talk about that one. What the fuck?
So admittedly, with that guy there, Dre has his twin.
Oh my god, that's fucking sick. Did you make that one or paint it or what would you?
I painted that one. Yeah. So admittedly, that was one I just didn't really like how the cast came out, but I painted 2 like that. So Dre has one and I have one. And then there's a couple of these ones too. I like this kind of a pour, this weird like red, yellow, blue.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's a couple of those, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, the painted, like even actually some of these mana minions back here are painted as well. Like all 3 of those guys. Mm-hmm. I find the painting actually sometimes just it can actually really help them, man. Like they don't necessarily need it, but
yeah,
I find it helps. Yeah. Same as like this dude here. You've seen him.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking beauty. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
They're fun, man. And like, there's something about how many different ways you can cast them. They always end up looking good, in my opinion. And again, a commentary on that mold. The fact that this maker was like, I'm going to retire this mold, but it's still pumping out that many casts, in my opinion. That's a big comment on how good it is.
Yeah. I think you and I were talking about that earlier, dude. And the fact that, people can get, so many fucking pulls out of a, and that's what you said, dude. Like, God damn it. Fucking A. Hi, I'm new here. Like you said, dude, those were retired molds and they're still getting a bunch of pulls out of them, dude. That says something. I think especially now you tell me, dude, I don't know. Or does it depend on the material that they're using or the grade that they're using? If you hold on to a mold, does that necessarily have an expiration date on it? Like, let's say that you retire a mold and don't use it. Like, could you let it sit there theoretically for say 5 years, come back, pour in it, and it's
that's a really tough one. I think that's why some people will make plaster molds for their masters. And I don't know for certain, but I think just like an elastic band, right? When you see an elastic band start getting white, you go to pull it and it snaps instead. I do find some of the molds, you can almost tell it's getting tight around like the edges, or it just feels a little like hard where it probably was like really rubbery and giving. And maybe that's just from like the perpetual heat of the casts against it. But and somebody else in the comments might be able to respond way better about what's going on there. But
yeah,
I would think that over time they're going to either shrink and shrivel or dry a bit, lose some of the moisture that makes the silicone so good at maintaining the shape when it pulls the cast.
Yeah. Sir Collect-A-Lot in the house. What is up, dude? You should definitely check out the first hour of the show on repeat. They'll get you all caught up on everything that's happened so far, which was, in my opinion, a lot. Now, would you like to continue with your tour, good sir? Or are we done? Was that it?
Yeah, I figured we would just do the Canadian shelf, and we would avoid all the other makers. It's not really that important, anyways.
Probably just stick to the Canadian stuff, and maybe talk about the ongoing Choco Taco crisis and how that's still a fucking thing.
I'd like to talk about the fact we don't have any Aunt Debbie's. The little Debbie's still gone from Canada.
What? Wait, why?
Oh, I don't know why. We just don't have little Debbie's here. You guys, they pulled them out. I don't know why. We did have them. And that's the worst part.
They're tired.
I crave little Debbie cream pies.
They're tired of your shit.
They're probably tired of our shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm also weird. I name all my shelves. So as much as yo, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying little Debbie's is strictly saying nothing north. No north anymore. Staying out of the north.
It would seem so, man.
All right.
I'm not going to spend too much time on the swamp shelf because I do feel like you guys have all probably seen the swamp shelf quite a few times. This thing by Carolina Cool Cat, though, man.
Oh, hold on real quick, dude. Terrible Toy Works says, what's going on with Choco Tacos? Are you kidding me right now, bro? Like, look that up. Those things have been off the shelf for a minute now. We talked extensively about it. Come on, man. Don't tease me. Like there's still a thing somewhere. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. All right, go ahead.
No, I don't blame you, man. Chocolate tacos are important. I have extensively posted about my swampy shelf, though. That's kind of why I'm just kind of glossing over it at this point, to be honest with you. This dude, I am pretty proud of, the fact it looks almost like this Toxic Fumes Toys one down here. The paint matchup was pretty darn close. From a glow-in-the-dark vinyl to this little resin dude, we were close. And admittedly, I'm pretty proud of this dude, too. This dude's fun. Man.
I was going to ask you about that one specifically, dude. I know you had posted a lot of pictures about those, during the process of those.
Yeah.
And dude, just briefly tell me, I know that there's, layer upon layer upon layer, correct?
Yeah, it was it's a pink vinyl, and then I actually just used, the solar color dust stuff and mixed it with leveling gel. And just kept on kind of going over. And then I tried kind of doing the blues and purples in certain waves, but then doing the greens with a different finish. But yeah, I think he turned out pretty neat.
Yeah, dude. And you know what's crazy is when you turn that in the light, dude, that has got some fucking outstanding color on it, dude. God damn.
You know what? If anything, I would say, who it does.
Yeah, that's fucking
There's somebody who does a bunch of the fun gustings, and they were definitely the inspiration behind this, man. Their paint apps were just so freaking beautiful. I'm trying to think of... It'll come to me after the show, probably. No, my luck.
God damn, dude. That is nice. Very nice.
Seems like, I don't know, man. This guy here, I always find kind of fun. So, admittedly, there's a Trash Joy Studios piece with some teeth by Slug Toys, yeah. And then just put some resin in there, put a backer on there so that they can actually flip upside down if you want. So he's riding the little blood wave, or he's chilling on it. Fucking some of the ugliest Dragon Ball Z bootlegs to ever exist.
Yeah, I remember those.
What I love is even the other day, LM9 sent me a picture actually of a vinyl, and this head was on the vinyl. And it was like, oh shit, okay, well I guess that's where the original stupid ass head sculpt comes from, and why it's the only one that looks real in comparison to whatever the hell these guys are.
Yeah.
This might be the worst one. I don't know what is happening here or who that character is supposed to be, but that one might be the worst one. And the fact that these say sell like hotcakes. I like that. The fact they're telling parents, if you're questioning if your kid would like this, question no more. They sell like hotcakes.
It says it right on the package. That is the secret to selling stuff, guys. Put it on the package. Hey, sells like hotcakes.
Sell like hotcakes. It's like, are you trying to sell this to the person who does sell toys, or are you trying to sell this to people who are buying toys for people?
Dude.
Who is this message for? Who are you trying to actually make sure knows that this is the case? I don't know how I skipped right over these dudes at the beginning, considering they're on my desk all the time. So, some Suki. Some
I was going to say
boys.
Suki. Yes. Okay.
This piece is definitely one of those ones where I'm very lucky to own it. They had made it actually for their local newspaper. There was a bunch of awards. I don't want to say newspaper. It's like I want to say magazine, but no, I'm like a fucking moron. But I believe they had actually held on to one for the city paper, and they ended up parting with it, and I'm very, very blessed to have that in my collection.
Yeah, nice.
And of course, again, some artist in town that makes these busts of the goddess. This guy here, actually, I'm not going to just gloss over that. Fucking 4T, man. Tone Twisted Tiger was super nice and sent a package over to LM9 and included that beautiful freaking OG head design, being like, yo, give this to Crumb. He's going to cast something up with this. And then actually my friend Katie ended up making these dudes. And this worm dude is actually based off of the one that I got on my painting. So the fact that, and actually, so comically enough, this human being knew that the mustache on Batman here was actually from my personal face. And when they were trying to figure out what to do for the little hair on this dude, they decided they were going to grow their armpit hair out. And then trim some off and fucking sculpt it into this worm so that he would have weird ass little hair like my fucking worm painting does. So if I ever want to clone this human, I can do so.
Awesome.
Is it really art if you're not putting pieces of yourself in it? That's the real question. Yo, actually, check this weird ass fucking toy line out. So I'm at Value Village one day, which is like there's like random.
I'm sorry, you were at where?
It's called Value Village. It's like a shitty.
What the fuck is a Value Village?
Yeah, it's kind of like a secondhand store.
Okay.
And they, for some reason, had this Turkish airline wooden toy set. Turkish Airlines. I guess they make these toys, and you can buy them for your children when going on flights. And there's a whole set, and this is their mascot, this stupid-looking fucking giraffe. Turkish Airlines.
Oh, interesting.
Why, man? And of course, anybody who knows Bucky O'Hare. How do you not? There's certain toys, man, that if my brother had them growing up and wouldn't let me touch them, I definitely like to buy them now and then just give a big old middle finger out to wherever he might be type deal. Just fucking my toy now, bitch. Some Simeon Cheese and some Dr. Plops. Dr. Plops is definitely one of those artists that I love to see that they've teamed up with Blowman Dan and often get to do a lot of pieces with them. They get to design a lot of pieces with a lot of other makers. And this guy back here, Rambo Kiss, man, one of my buddies growing up, like one of my best friends, had that exact figure. And shout out to Bliss Receptor, actually, for catching in and tuning me in on the fact that this guy's actually a Chap May figure.
Yes.
Because that fucking bad guy figure by Rambo Kiss is definitely one of, like, he's just a badass figure, man. Chap May knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
And then you'll remember this period of time.
Oh, yes.
Fucking bootleg Bonanza, man.
Damn, you're right, bro. You know what? And I passed on those, and I regret it. I regret it, man.
I think for me, a big part of it was that I knew that, like, I guess I maybe interviewed a couple of those dudes doing unboxings. I wanted something to kind of remember that period of time and that storefront, that brick and mortar, fucking Garrett in general. And that's kind of actually why I needed one of those dudes as well from Mushi Bros. It was just done in like the colorway for bootleg Bonanza, and I definitely just wanted to have a piece of what they were trying to do, man. Like that must have been so fucking hard, especially during COVID. And of course, one of like the first Yucko drops, the colors was dying for, and then every crayon inside is actually done up with a the color of a school shooting. It's kind of like a commentary. And then I don't know if I've ever actually shown this dude. Okay, so Mark Heelis and I had a little bit of an issue back in the day about a couple of these dudes here.
Uh-huh.
But this one figure is fucking stupidly cool.
It fucking really is, dude.
It really makes
I'll go back to those crayons in a minute, but yes, keep going on that, dude. That is awesome.
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I maybe it was just in a different period of time. There was a couple of other pieces from that box that just never showed up. But
what is that as far as like paint or like what's going on?
If I had to guess, it's going to be a cast, and then it's going to be actually like a wash. Did almost like a red wash on there, and then silver detailing on like the metal bits or the wiring bits. Purple up on the shoulders. Yeah, it's really a beautiful piece, man. Like he knocked it out of the park. There's not a negative thing I could say about that piece. And it's just static, which we've all talked about before. Like, you know what? If it's going to stand, dope. And actually right beside him is another Rainbow Kiss as well. And of course, Shotgun Karaoke.
Very nice, dude. I think the the crayons that Yucko did, you talk about being able to spark some commentary on a piece. I mean, these are crayons in the shape of bullets. And I think, besides the fact that it makes a lot of sense, right? Especially on that topic, especially in America. It's a great fucking idea, man.
Well, you know what makes it even more fun, in my opinion? One, the bullets, I believe, are actually molded and casted from his grandfather's. And then the other is that the crayons, he actually recycled from a bunch of the crayons used at the youth church that he works at. So
Right.
a bunch of kids were using these crayons before they became these crayons, which almost kind of adds more to the weird morbidness of this piece.
You know what? And color's worth dying for. You know what, dude? You know what I think is a real shame about that piece is that it's covered up by the label. I think that piece, I could see that on a flat white background lined up, left to right, lined up on them, and seeing that in the gallery, dude, and people looking at that and just going, "Oh fuck, that's some shit there."
Have them melted running down the page too.
Something, or like a picture next to it, maybe drawn with
Oh goodness,
like that. But I mean, it's weird that it's covered up like that. Like you open it up and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking dope, man." But dude, I wish. Dude, I almost want you to peel that fucking label off, dude.
It could have done with being a smaller label, but it's tough. I think even Yucko was still trying to figure out their style at that time.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, just Pocket Toy Co. with the fucking Droid DeLorean.
You know what, dude? So I don't know if there was a run of those, but I think I have the very last Droid DeLorean that he made before the mold gave up, because he gave me a piece of the mold, but mine's chrome. And I love that fucking figure, dude.
There's something sassy about it. I've always said that to him. I'm like, there's something about that stupid fucking stance with that head that just makes him so sassy.
That's exactly what it is, dude. The way he's got his chest out like that, it's just, it's fucking perfect, dude. I like that Shotgun Karaoke you got in the back there, too.
Oh, dude. That guy is so fun.
Yeah.
And actually, this is a new one. I met General Porpoise recently. Man, okay, like, back to how, like, oh, okay, you think that's neat. So, of course, the Dupree and General Porpoise.
Oh, get out. God dang it, dude.
And then, I don't know if I'm supposed to show that off. That's a brick that hit me at heart by Porpoise as well.
Shit.
Of course. But I was so fortunate, man. He was coming to town, and he messaged me, letting me know he was going to be coming to town, and there was no way that I could make it to like the little meetup that they were going to be doing. And on a last minute whim, I decided to kind of let him know, like, man, this is where I'm going to be working that day. If you're going to be in the area and want to maybe pop by. And he was like, yep. And so dropped in at my pot shop that I was working at and had a little baggie of toys, and I made sure I brought some in case as well. But some of you guys might not get this because you're surrounded by toy people all the time. I don't necessarily one, I'm not surrounded by toy people, and then two, I'm kind of solo in Toronto. The people at the pot shop I work with are incredibly nice, but I am definitely not going to ask any of them for a high five or a hug. The fact that I was at that pot shop that day and Corpus came in and I could get a hug from a homie, man, that's the kind of shit that some of us don't necessarily always think about, or other people when they hear about the toys, they don't really think about, is the fact that it's you've maybe gone months without seeing a familiar face or a friendly face or somebody that you can connect with, and to look up in the middle of a transaction and there's General Porpoise looking at you, you're like, no.
What the hell?
You know what I mean, man? Yeah, dude.
Straight up. And that's, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about, going to some of those shows and everything just kind of being so surreal as a collector, you know what I mean? Because it feels like you're talking to basically, I think heroes is not the word I'm looking for, but it's people that you respect, and it's people that are making the stuff that you collect, and it's people that are making the stuff that you're really into. And to me, to meet those people and hang out with these people, and then you meet somebody like Brett, who's just so fucking cool, man. Like, he's one of the dudes I talk to regularly, and we talk about stuff besides toys. And he's fucking awesome, dude. He's a fucking normal ass dude. He's a great Uber driver. Me and fucking Aaron at Vomiting Droids used him as he had driven out there. So he was driving us around. But dude, I can imagine looking up and seeing that dude and just being like, what the fuck?
Well,
great dude. And a super talented dude, besides making stuff like that. Dude.
And, rare situation, oddly enough, Porpoise, I guess because family is relatively close to New York, they come up this way. He's probably one of the few artists I've met twice now, so you're not even dealing with that weird awkwardness. And then you add on all the nights that they ended up stepping in and filling in or just joining us on Toys Alive. It's yeah, man, it's elevated even further, right? And, this is actually, because I normally hate this shit, but the first time somebody was like, hey, I've got something for you. And I was like, well, you know what? I've been meaning to grab something from you anyways. But freaking Drock, man. This was probably one of the first times that any of the artists in the scene, for some reason, because I'm gonna, just like you, right? We don't consider doing any of this shit. So when somebody's like, I want to give you something, you're like, no, dude, that's not how this goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, to have a maker like Drock just tell you, no, I want to get this out to you. It's damn, man, that's that kind of shit again. If it wasn't on this shelf, it would definitely have to be on the Grailer shelf. And this shelf is definitely, like I was saying earlier, some weirdo. I named my shelf, but everything on here is a hero. Basically, is kind of how I look at this shelf. Slug Toys. I don't know if they're making toys anymore, but this would have been probably one of the first toys I ever painted. I was lucky enough that they actually had a Bo Banana left, but the problem was that the Bo Banana was a miscast, and they had a couple of limbs that were miscasted, and so that's what they were kind of able to send me. And Rit dye, man. That was the first time that I ended up using Rit dye to just dye a figure in order to just get it completely matching. Because originally some of the limbs were yellow, some of the limbs were white. So I just used the Rit dye, gave it a quick little paint tap, and then of course this dude.
I do, man. And you know what, dude? I think I'm just for display purposes, I think I'm about to open mine.
You haven't opened yours yet? Oh, you mean to take it out of the bag?
Yeah, it's bagged up.
Okay, yeah.
So for the people who don't know, man, why don't you drop that story on us, dude? So some of us know that story. I think a lot of us don't know that story, but why don't you take us behind the story of that piece, who made it, who the collab was, and fucking what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so the collab would have been between One Trick Pony and Dreamcastle Studios, and One Trick ended up doing the heads and the paint apps on the heads, and then Dreamcastle ended up doing the bodies. But why this figure is actually, in my opinion, so important is that it's technically an unreleased 4-up. of what was actually supposed to be the Bespin, and I'd watch freaking Al Burial Boba is going to correct me on all of this and be like, you're actually incorrect. But the Micro Machines line was supposed to release one with the Boba Fett, and this figure, in all actuality, this couldn't exist, in my opinion. It's one of those situations where somebody who was in a position who had access to certain things suddenly gets this. And if you look onto there's the Star Wars database, basically, like the data bank that keeps track of all this stuff, and you'll see that somebody's basically got the original painted 4-up, and somebody's got the original artist proof of the mini. But around that time, they had actually just gotten a brand new artist painter, and he didn't like working with alginate, which is like a green type of material, and so everything switched over at that point to a whole other material. So my theory is that a 4-up maybe just walked out of the shop. We got a nice little Herd Toys Batman back there.
Dude, real quick, can you tell us who Dreamcastle Studios is?
Yeah, Dreamcastle. Oh, of course, Matt. 20% battery. Dave actually would have been Dreamcastle Studios. He actually ended up being one of the sculptors over at Kenner at the time.
Yes.
I feel like it's just been so long now since I've talked about any of this stuff that some of it definitely feels like a bajillion years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I've been talking nonstop for the last
No, all good, dude. I mean, dude, you want to take a break for a minute? You want to fucking you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to because I'm gonna switch over to the camera mode for a second on my computer. Hopefully, we don't jump through all the exact same bullshit we just had. Because I'm gonna plug in my phone and get it charging for a second as well.
Mario Boba says, "Here's the other thing I forgot to do, dude. So this is another thing you can do with the show is you can put the comments up on the screen, which is cool. I like that. Crumbs was one of the first people to buy one of the OG Barrio Bobas. How about that, man? Sir Collect a Lot says Slug was one of the first collabs they made a Toyota together. That's funny. Yeah, lots of cool stuff on here, dude. Vomiting Droid says amazing Uber driver for Brett. Porpoise says passengers were very respectful of my vehicle and left it very clean. I think I left a review, 5 stars, would use again. I think that was the general review that was left for General Purpose. That General Purpose piece that you had, I mean, what the fuck, dude? That is pretty sick. That is the mint on card piece is fucking choice. I love that shit, dude. And you basically start panning across and show one. And not only is it that, it looks like it's in that fucking nice neon marble that he does. So go fuck yourself on that, bro. That is amazing. That swirl that he does, man, that's some fucking choice product right there, dude. I mean, anyways, that's it.
I'm gonna bug you. Oh.
Well, he's figured out how to do that. Great. Lots of wax sculpting. Yeah. Dreamcastle Studios, man. You know what's funny, dude? I have a Dreamcastle Studios piece, but it's just, and I think, dude, so do you remember when he made a piece and it was a Davy Jones fucking C piece? Somebody here has that, dude. Is that Death and Strawberries, or maybe Brett has that? But motherfucker, wasn't that thing available? And I passed on it, and somebody snagged it up right away, as they should have. And I think at the time it was an amazing deal. But then I want to say it might have been Death and Strawberries who turned me on to him and said, "Hey, he dropped another piece," and it was like a skull. It's like this marbled red, white, and blue skull that I ended up picking up, and it was super cheap, dude. He wanted like $15 for it. But after hearing who he was, it's like, shit, dude. Why would I not buy this? You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah. Death and Strawberry says he got it. Yeah, dude. Fuck. I'm glad that one's in a good home, man, because that one is that is a sick ass piece.
I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah. Switch.
Oh man.
Because I need you to switch over to PC mode for a moment.
I'm actually
That's the other person.
Oh, you just like that? Remove this like that? There we go. You're on mute.
Classic.
I was just gonna say,
No.
fucking classic, dude. You're on mute.
It's so, this is where we're at with technology. This is why it becomes annoying. In the past, totally could have had my phone plugged in, headphones in. But do headphones now have do phones have headphone jacks? Nah, they use that USB-C. So it becomes one of those things where you're like, well, shit, man, I need to sit down for a second, have a sip of my coffee, have a little toast, breathe through my nose, stop talking for like one moment, and echo fucking all the way across all channels. Yeah. But that porpoise piece is absolutely gorgeous, man. And admittedly, Deep Pruitt, that the fact that that individual ended up sculpting that up, it's a gorgeous sculpt, so creative, so interesting. And then you're right, Porpoise does that fucking gorgeous all marble, glow in the dark, translucent thing. And another thing that, oh god, pocket salsa. If anything, if you're gonna get a I need a you're on mute tattoo, please put it right over the pumpkin patch. I feel it's one of those things where it should just be right on the pumpkin patch. So that when somebody's looking up, it just says you're on mute, and they'll laugh because they'll have
a coffee cup that says what? Oh. Don't steal it. Don't steal that idea from me, man. Toys Alive, you're on mute coffee cup. Done. Fucking done. Coming to the store.
If anything, just toys. What
do you think, dude? So do we go black cup with hot pink writing, pink cup with black writing, or white cup with pink writing? Something, but that's gonna fucking happen. That's a great idea. Even if there's only fucking one of them. Two of them. Oh man. What a great idea.
See, this is where things get weird too. Like I'm not used to like leaving things around, running around. I'm supposed to be just planning in my one seat, dude. And Stormico, I appreciate that, but we're not even close to being done yet. I'm trying to go through the fastest way possible. I'm trying to just like give you guys the run through. We were this close to seeing the Gula Gaba sitting on the shelf. I've got a Gula Gaba sitting there, and then Gula Gaba is known for their backers, and it's considered a grail piece for me in my collection because Gula Gaba the one day said, I can't wait till I get those fucking clamshells so that the fucking nerds stop touching my fucking art. And there was something about that that just bugged me because I love touching toys. So
yeah,
I very quickly turned that backer into a paper airplane to show how fast art can become a toy. And so, yes, that paper airplane hangs nicely by my grail shelf because I feel that's a nice little reminder that any art can become a toy very quick.
That is true. And you talk about pieces being kind of repurposed like that. I, too, have a Gula Gaba repurposed piece that I don't think I've ever shown on this show. And there's a little bit of a story behind it. Did I ever show you that? That came from Pocket Salsa.
I have never seen that.
You want to see it real quick?
Please.
1 second. It's right here.
You know what? I'll give this person credit. One of the ones I have from Gaba, it's going to Jazzwiz. It's in a box for Jazzwiz. I told Jazzwizard he's going to get a little USB stick with the entirety of that full interview with Gula Gaba that nobody else has ever seen. And that figure is a banana figure. And the reality is I'm allergic to bananas. And I do find that banana marbled things are hilarious. Something I'll give this artist credit for is they pay very close attention to what certain people collect. The fact that they knew that I might want a moldy banana piece and then a Joker themed piece from Batman, I'm not going to shit on them. I mean, they were pretty on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see what the heck Pocket Salsa has done with this. The other thing I'm going to put out there as well, actually, because I've just said some stuff that maybe makes it seem like I hate Gula Gaba, I'm going to put this out there. That individual seems much like any of us seems as if they were going through a very difficult time. It seems as if that a lot of people ended up being a little bit frustrated with them at the end. And if I can be 1000% honest, I just hope that at some point they end up finding whatever was making them happy about making art, because they were actually a really good artist. I don't shit on them in that regard. That, like, I mean, good art is good art. So I do hope they got a chance to be able to make cool art again.
I agree, man. I'm gonna have to go in my other room and grab that piece. I was moving some stuff around and I do not see it in here. But I just want to comment on something, on two things there that you said real quick. Number one, did you say you're allergic to bananas? Ain't that the biggest fucking oxymoron on the face of the fucking earth? Like, are you kidding me, dude? I did not expect you to say that. And number two, you're right, dude. You're right. There was some issues with him, obviously. I quite honestly, dude, I have several pieces by that dude. The one thing that I did like about him, it's not just one thing. There was a couple things I liked about him. One of them was he was very interactive with his customers as far as, hey, what do you want? At least he was always that way with me. I have an idea, he puts it into effect, maybe does a couple mock-ups and says, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And then boom, we go from there. Me personally, I did a couple pieces with him that were, I thought were cool. I thought it was a great kind of landscape to do some political pieces that I thought were important. One of them was about the governor here in California, which he ended up making stickers of, and he ended up showing these pieces on other shows. My issue is that it just fucking took forever to get them, dude. And I had paid for these things, obviously, in advance. But the art on there was fucking great, dude. The figures were okay. I actually have a lot of figures from him that are just figures. And some of them, one of the 3.75 Boba Fett's that I have that's painted, one of the best 3.75s that I have. No bullshit. It is fucking beautiful. It's just the other stuff came in here. But you're right, dude. As far as an artist goes and doing backers like that, I mean, he has a fucking unique style, man. It's a undeniable style you can see from across the room and say who that is. Absolutely 100%. If he's, last thing I'll say is I agree with you 100%, dude. If that was a bad season for him, it was a bad season, dude. We all have those. The point is if he's doing good or doing better or on the road to doing better, that's the key thing, man. And I do hope that he comes back someday. I hope he's one of those guys who swallows his pride and comes back and says, you know what, man, here's what was going on, dude. And he doesn't have to get specific, but say, I want a fresh start, dude. You know what I mean? Like, there were some people that I fucked over and I realized, that I shouldn't have done that. That was fucking immature and stupid. But I'm here to make great art, man. And I love that aspect about it. If he did that, dude, I don't know what kind of reception he'd get, but I think it would go a long way with a lot of people. I want to look for that piece because it is a very cool piece.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say that, in my opinion, like, again, like any of us, if we're going through a hard time, it's easy to like kind of get angry. Maybe it took a while for a piece, but the last thing on your priorities, if you're worried about becoming homeless or keeping food on the table, is making sure that pieces make it out. If it's not there, it's not there. Otherwise, though, while B's gone, and we're just going to be sitting here, I might as well show off some of the things sitting on my desk, I suppose. I don't know. We got a couple.
Let me put you on full screen, bro.
Oh, well, oh, shit.
Because I just gotta watch the house. Is that okay?
Give her, yeah, man.
Hey,
why not?
Hey, look, you're fucking back at it. This is part of it. You fucking.
This is part of what we do. This is part of how she goes apparently now. But these guys here, actually, if we're gonna be looking around the desk, again, another think outside the toy box, and this just happened to be at like the perfect time. You guys are gonna see a little bit of it afterwards, but I've got a black and white shelf that some of you have seen me post about before. And it kind of evolved organically, to be honest with you. Admittedly, I had a pig for 8 years, and she had just passed away. And I was trying not to actually go down a really dark path when I had no idea what the hell to do with myself. And the partner I was with and owned a home with decided at that time that they were also going to decide they didn't want to do this anymore. And I'm reaching out to think out to the toy box. He's sending me pieces that he's got. And it just so happens he's got this black and white Scully dude on a piece that, of course, says, I want to believe, which, as an agnostic, yeah, I wouldn't mind believing that she's somewhere rather than just decomposing somewhere. And then, of course, as you're going through a separation with your partner, this why must there be space between us, which I think for a lot of us dudes in the scene, this might be almost like a reoccurring theme in our lives anyways, where we're just like, fuck, man, a lot of space between me and the people that I want to be close to. Yeah. Toys, 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 toys. And admittedly, I've also got this guy here, Peter Moore, and ended up actually making me this nice little. These are solid. She's actually here visiting for the week, Jazz. If you feel like something, how close are you guys, Pocket Salsa and Jazz? Oh my God, I'm just catching up to the chat, you gross bastards. I'll admit, dude, it feels strange sitting here. I'm recovering from a cold at the moment. This year has been a strange one for the health. Well, B's just chilling out there, anyways. Might as well get into it. I had a bunch of different things, and recently been having some odd seizures. If you guys haven't seen that, I was at the old waiting room the other day. That's all it was. For some reason, just having miscellaneous seizures. Mecha Ducky likes to tease me for the fact that I do all my casting and painting and shit in the kitchen, and I'm probably just breathing in a bunch of fucking off-gassing bullshit, and that's probably a big cause as to why, you don't shit where you eat, but what can you do? Whoops, salsa, call me up. Yeah, dudes, this is not meant to be a solo Crumbs show. Come back the first night, and all of a sudden I'm like manhandling you guys as if you're newborn babies, and I have no idea what to do with a newborn baby. I just want B to come back with that beautiful pocket salsa piece. Also, not toy related at all.
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as much as I'm joking about Mecha Ducky saying we talked thoroughly about PPE, I shit you guys not. The amount of times that I'm on my kitchen floor in my underwear, it just comes to you, right? The compulsion comes. It's like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. You roll out of bed. You're in your boxers. Suddenly, before you know it, you're on the floor like Schmeagol. You're literally like this, eyeballing out as you're pouring in this tiny little cup. No gloves on, no mask on. Just before you know it, half your floor is resin. Good shit.
I found it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So how you been?
You know when you're sick and like your sinuses are full, so you're trying to breathe through your mouth, but you're talking so fucking much that you don't get a chance to actually breathe because you can't breathe through your nose. That's what's dying, man.
Yeah. So now, if you remember with Ghoul of Gaba, kind of his thing was he would make a piece, the back would be like the picture, a picture of somebody, right? And actually, I think the real picture was on the back side, and then on the front side was that picture with his art over the top of it, making it look like something else. And whatever idea that you had, you could throw at him. He definitely had his own, where he made his own, here's a little fucking side note, bro. You know, the first Giuliani run that he did, that was, I believe, a run of 12 or 13. I ended up with fucking 3 of those.
I have 2 and 2 Hulks. Well, Jazz is going to have one of them. And one of the
between me and you, we have 5 of that run out of the fucking dozen. Bro, I'm not bullshitting you. I bought a piece from a guy online, and he offered that piece to me for $30. And I go, I already have one, man. It's cool. And he goes, well, they're all 1 of 1s. I said, I don't give a fuck. It's 30. I said, I don't want it. He fucking threw it in anyways. So anyways, I had an idea one time. So I really like fucking documentaries, especially like murder shit. Especially when it's like they go like inside the mind of a fucking killer, you know what I mean? And I believe this is exactly where this one came from. I was watching something on the fucking Iceman, right? That dude. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a name. This one comes from the Iceman, and this dude was just a fucking stone cold killer, man. And after he was in jail, like some of the interviews with him, you're just like, that's a motherfucker that you should not mess with, dude. You know what I mean?
Driving naked down the freeway because all of his clothes are in the trunk soaked with blood.
He ain't tripping. No, you don't give a fuck. And you know what I mean? A dude who's that big and looks like that, who the fuck's gonna say anything to him? You know what I mean? And he knows that. And he knows that. Like, say something to me. I'll probably kill you too. Anyways, yeah, killer with a family life too. Crazy. Absolutely, dude. So yeah, Ted Kuklinski. So anyways, The other thing that I was really into at the time, or I had just watched, was one of the Batman movies with Schwarzenegger as Iceman or Mr. Freeze. And so I put basically what he had was, a picture of him on the front with a Mr. Freeze face. And then there was a picture of him on the back, I believe is what it was. And it was a whole fucking Mr. Freeze Iceman type fucking thing. It was cool. The art was cool. When I first met Salsa, I think I had mentioned on the show one time that I have a box of pieces that I would probably just give away or that I won't display or anything. And he hit me up and he was like, hey, I'll take some of those if you want. So one of them was that piece, dude. I was so pissed off at Ghoul at the time that I was just like, fuck it, whatever, man. I'm going to keep these other ones and I'm going to get rid of this one. So I did. I sent that to him and I'm just like, fuck it, dude. You can have this one. It's from this dude. At the time, I think Eddie from Resin Blood was still displaying his stuff at his shop and was saying, hey, this dude might be something. So there might have been a little bit of value there. But basically what he sent back to me was this. This is, so now you have the backer. Then there was also a figure in it, right? Just like a static figure. So this is what he did, dude. He cut the backer up, basically put it in a fucking ice block. And there's the figure right there with the card cut up and sunk in the resin underneath it. And then sent it back to me.
Yo, Salsa, man, really well thought out on the fact that you've got like so much beef on the bottom there, man.
Dude, and look at the fucking, it's almost like chipped ice effect right here is what he did.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Jeez.
It's fucking,
and all around the top corner edge too.
yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, and how it's like halfway, like look how it's sunk in, like just barely sticking out, but enough. You know what I mean? That is fucking dope, dude. But it's a piece with a story, whether good or bad. I mean, it's a story nonetheless, and you can still see the art in there, which he used the face. What I really like, if you can see in there, he used the face behind it as like the immediate backer, which, as you know, as far as the original piece goes, was probably the most colorful, portion of the backer. So I think it was smart to use that as the kind of main focus piece there. But yeah, check that out.
Out of curiosity, who did the bloody dick? Was that Salsa or was that Gabba?
That was Gabba. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know what, dude? Honestly, man, I can't remember if the red was on there or if Salsa added that. Wow, dude, I just got a really weird fucking like pressure thing. That was weird. What the fuck was that, dude? Bro, that was weird. Holy shit. That was odd, man. Maybe we should go back to your tour. Anyways, this was cool. That was the whole fucking point. Anyways, moving on, dude. Oh.
Fuck, man. A Gulagast. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I'm sorry to hear that happen. And yeah, we're gonna have to do it in chunks or something. I charged my phone up before we started this, but it just ate so much battery doing the little portion that we did do on the phone that I'm at like 20% right now. And
on your phone?
Yeah. Yeah. And then what makes it even more fun is I don't have Bluetooth headphones. I'm rocking fucking plug-in headphones. So of course something's got to take up that space in the phone. And yeah, I'm probably your worst guest to date, man.
You're not wrong. I mean, I wouldn't say you're right, but you're not wrong.
Has there been this many awkward moments and or technical difficulties with any other guest?
Yes.
I love Grayskull. Bring each piece over to the computer. Oh my goodness. If anything, Grayskull, dude. And you know what? This is why I guess like I even cut Gulagaba some slack on the figures thing. Grayskull Toys, when we linked up almost a year ago, probably at this point, gave me a big old box of stuff to do on Toys Alive, which is sitting inside of a giant armrest box inside of a cupboard right now until I can get to a position where I'm like, I know what the hell to do with them. Because I was going to send them off in your box, but I also know like we're going to have to get them out there, man. Like, he has supplied giveaways that just have not been given away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel right sitting on them. It becomes one of those weird things, right? And that's why, again, like, that's why I cut Google got us some slack, is because I know what it's like to be sitting there with somebody's toys going, fuck yeah, I got to get these out. I got to make sure we do something with these. These have to make it to a home. These deserve to be in a home.
Dude, it's the constant fucking battle that I have. And this is a good segue into, delivering fucking giveaways. Dude, I know for a damn fact, I'll be the first one to admit, dude, that some people wait way too fucking long for a fucking giveaway from me, dude. And I fully recognize that, man. Like, I just don't have the schedule to get down to the fucking post office, every week like I should. That's just one more thing that I can't fucking squeeze in there, man. So then they build up, and then I try to do it once a month. And then it's the same thing, dude. Like, that deadline starts coming up, and you're like, fuck, man, I got to get these out. And as something as small as it seems, you know what I mean? It does take a little bit of time. And the smart thing to do would be, to do it in right after the show and just get it done, just take an extra 10 minutes and do it. But when they start to build up and you have like 10, 12 things to mail out, and 4 of them are fucking international ones, number one, you're like, man, I'm about to get hit with a fucking gigantic bill. And then the other thing is it takes, bro, those declaration forms, that is not easy shit, dude. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's not, it is, it's very easy shit, but it's time consuming.
But it's annoying, and still have to fill it out, and you have to bug them for their information.
It's annoying, dude. And I think I've kind of worked my way around it, where I have a printer at home now, fucking finally, where I can print labels.
Now I'm curious, did you buy a printer specifically though for doing Toys Alive shit?
100%, dude. When I bought when I started up the store, I knew that there was going to be an operating cost to start up and get some shit, dude. And that's what I did. There was other like boxes and labels and tape and shit like that I needed, and big ass rolls of fucking bubble wrap. And, then you got to set up the accounts. You got to set up the fucking PayPal account, and you got to set up, all the bullshit and the shipping and the fucking, I do the labels through PayPal. So there's a little bit of work going on in there. It's just, I need to stay on top of it, is what I'm trying to say, dude. So, at the same time, I'm glad to say that fucking every fucking giveaway that I have zero, I'm sitting on 0 giveaways right now. And I shit you not, fucking 0. So if you're waiting for something from me, you will have it. Either you already have it, or you will have it shortly. I know that, a lot of shit went out within the last 6 days. So if you're waiting for something, I appreciate your patience. Congratulations on your win.
All right. I've got a plan of attack of how we're going to do this, so we don't keep everybody up here way longer than we need to be. I'm going to turn off my camera in a moment. I'm going to step away for a second. I've got 24% battery, and we are going to shoot through as much as the collection as we can on that 24% battery. And when it's on those last legs, hop back over to the computer, and we'll pretty well say goodnight to these folks.
All good. Yeah. Sir Collect-A-Lot was saying the same thing for him. And we get to the very end of a project, he gets frozen on the packaging. It could take him a week or two just to do something that should take a half an hour. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. It should really be a quick thing. And then when it starts to build up, I think, just looking at it, naturally it makes me want to walk away from it when I see a lot of work, I mean, and that's not my style, dude. I'm all about diving in, but, when it seems like an extra thing to do, it's like,
on top of everything else with Toys Day, it can be a lot.
Yeah. So anyways.
Alrighty, man. I'm going to see you in 2 seconds.
Cool. Toy tour mode. Yeah, so we'll get through the rest of this tour, and then it's 8:15. It's actually not that bad. We still have the giveaway to do, which again is 2 pieces from Plastic Vomit, the Red Vader, and then the Donkey Kong R2-D2. You're still on mute, my friend. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I see we were on mute.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah.
Sick. Alrighty. So the next shelves we're going to tackle are going to be Grail and Black White Shelf. I feel those are the 2 coolest ones anyways.
I just want to say one thing, just because Definitive Breaks has a question. What's the timeline going to be on those mugs? So if that happens, so this is where it's a little bit different. And this is another thing that's fucked up about me that mentally I think, right? I try to justify to myself why it's okay to not send something out right away. And the biggest one for me is they didn't pay for it. It's free. You'll get it when you get it. I know that sounds fucked up, man, but it's just like a little thing that I tell myself to make it okay so I can walk out the door the next morning without feeling like a dick, like not doing the box, right? That being said, when it's in the shop, it's a different story. Like, I don't fuck around with the shop. People have paid money for that. It's got to go out right away. I think I over-delivered, honestly, on the T-shirts because I fucked up the shipping on my own. Everybody got like fucking 2-day shipping. I guarantee you did not pay for 2-day shipping wherever the fuck you are. Like, hey, lesson learned, right? That's just what it is. But when it's the store, man, and people are paying money that have paid money that have gone into my account already, yes, the sense of urgency is heightened up to a level 10. That's why I bought the printer. It prints out right away. I slap the label on right away. It goes out the fucking door right away. So there's your answer on that. You're up.
I think you're probably more in your head about it than everybody else, homie.
I think you're right. I'm going to put you on full screen.
There. Does it flip? Does that flip for you guys? So admittedly, this guy here is Death and Strawberries. Oh, also. I mean, I was talking about it earlier. How do you not? Some Giuliani.
Yep. Oh, wow. That is crazy, dude.
Well, why not? And actually, though, this is what I was talking about before, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to poop on the piece. Still a really fucking cool piece. And you can't see it on here, but there's actually a bunch of little tiny question marks all over top of his clear, translucent green cast and the little bits of paint app. And I would say even that's actually something that's really sharp about it, is like the selective places where they actually end up applying the paint at. Our homie Hurt Toys as well. And of course, fucking, we were just talking about this artist the other day as well. The fact that I'm gapping on their name right now is ridiculous. Mateus, freaking, Death and Strawberries, dude, save me. I feel like a moron. We'll come back. But Death and Strawberries ended up making that for one Christmas. And I need to get this off to Death and Strawberries. This is actually Angry Beast. And this thing is fucking nuts, man. It's based off of Smokey the Bear. And the reason why, this is one of those pieces that, like, I grabbed it, and then I learned that the dude who actually used to illustrate, might have even been, like, the original person who came up with Smokey the Bear, basically had the same job that Death and Strawberries has, and also used to be one of the people who did a bunch of the character designs for G.I. Joe's. So this is definitely one of those pieces where you're like, you belong over there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Death and Strawberries' wife, I think, deserves this piece here. And then Yucca Muck at some point needs to get this piece here. And Yucca Muck actually originally casted that one, and he actually casted these guys here. And I just fucked with them and kind of made them a little different. This one trick piece, I know this is going to sound super prickish, but it ended up on the Grail shelf because on one of the Toys on Tap, Abe asked One Trick about this piece and was really wanting it. And One Trick let them know that it was in my collection, and Toys on Tap and I don't necessarily get along, so the fact I'm just a dick that way, that I have a piece they wanted, it ended up on the Grail shelf. And it is an absolutely beautiful piece, don't get me wrong. One Trick has done a couple of weed pieces like that, and admittedly, this might be one of my favorite ones here, Death Dealer. And what I love is actually this little pig here as well. Yeah. Has some little green in him with some weed. And his fucking briefcase has some little weed in it, man.
That's
and then of course,
great, dude. Oh yes.
The little clown one.
Yeah.
And then Hanno Doom actually ended up doing the backer for this piece. And fucking
clowns, dude. You know what? You know what saying I heard the other day, and I fucking really liked it, dude. I had never heard of it before. This old timer at work, I just kind of heard it in passing, dude. This dude said, "Naked as the eyes of a clown." I was
jeez.
I was like, holy shit, yeah, you're fucking right, dude.
Yo, I don't show I don't show this off enough. This piece is fucking massive, man.
Is
That painting. My buddy Rob Shaw, and so this part, somebody else might actually be like, that's very ableist of you, Crumbs. But probably, in my opinion, one of the most impressive things is like that dude wasn't really painting when we were in high school or anything like that. He ended up becoming a quadriplegic and started getting into painting as well as like continued pursuing tennis. But what's impressive to me is like they just hadn't been painting before, and the fact that they made this quadriptych piece while being quadriplegic. And just even like, I fucking love the 3 dots over here. Mm-hmm. That whole idea of like the whole like, and then of course you got all these different like splatters of purple and stuff fading out into like this just space aether type scene. Just
that's
stupidly cool, man.
That is very cool, man. That is very cool. I like the toxic fumes coasters you have up there at the top.
Oh.
I saw those. Oh, you went on mute there, bud. There you
go. Uncle Spank and Yuckamuck. So of course both those up there are Yuckamuck pieces. But Spank saw that February 14th piece that Yuckamuck had done, and I was kind of going through a bit of a hard time during that period, and the fact it's a little black and white bear and the story behind it being one of a lot of loss, and it even has on that backer like the light has gone out of my life. The fact those 2 dudes ended up grabbing that piece or making sure that piece made it here, man, was like, okay, so this shelf in general is ridiculous because what kind of happened at first was there were certain artists that I would reach out to, and I would ask them for certain pieces, like Hell Radical Toys. I'd be like, dude, like, what's like your like signature piece or like your first piece, the one you're most proud of? And I would try and get them to do a black and white of it. And suddenly, though, people just started sending me black and white pieces, like this fucking Plastic Vomit one, or Ordinary Toys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hurt Toys. Titty Bean. Constantly tossing a bunch. And then sometimes it would even just happen, it would just work out, like Saruga Mark, tossing one of those into a box of goodies. And you're like, well, that's obviously going up there. But we mentioned them earlier, Trash Can Monster. I remember asking them when they sent this, I was like, did you know about the black and white shelf? And they were like, no, man. But to have this little robot sitting in a puddle of black and white, it's like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Or like freaking Brett. He was like, I couldn't decide which one looked better. So suddenly you have 2. Or like fucking Rainbow Yawn asking you, is there anything I can do on yours? Is there anything I can do that would make yours kind of special? And I was like, I do have a black and white shelf. And all of a sudden, you got a black and white cape. All the weapons for him were these black and white ones with the blood on them. And you're just like, damn, Rainbow Yawn, like, you didn't have to go out like that, but thank you. Or like, when I met up with Angry Beast this past winter, they ended up giving me this guy. And you're like, damn it, dude. And like this, I've got 2 of these now. Another Toronto artist that for some reason the shop just doesn't know the name of.
Oh my god, that is badass.
And you're like, okay.
Is that
you need one of those.
Is that like a 3D printed anatomical heart, or what is that?
It's okay. They're so strange because I would imagine that they were originally 3D printed, but then they've been molded and casted, but they're hollow inside.
Oh, that's weird.
They're a weird piece, man. And that's where it's like, again, like, it's almost like people just kind of started hearing about the black and white shelf, and they were like, oh yeah, it comes like black and white pieces. And some people might not even realize, like, the significance of it, but, like, someone snaps. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? The fact that, like, his first drop of these toys, and he makes sure that there's a black and white one, with a fucking all zeros up there, and a little heart on the screen. And then on top of that, includes this black and white friggin' piece of a skull man that he's had. But he even said, he was like, well, it was just waiting to find the right home. Or like Porpoise, or this fucking beast, man, where Titty actually casted the hands and feet individually. And you're like, as if you casted the black body and the white hands and feet separately in the same mold and had them chemically bond to each other. And then this, like, the fucking Hurt Toys one. And dude, like you can't see it. Those beautiful brown eyes, like that part would always catch me because as the odd artist, I would send him a picture of Ellie and be like, "If you don't mind, I'd really like a piece to kind of commemorate her." And then the odd artist would actually do like the brown eyes, and you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me, man?" Like that little extra part, you're just like, cause like, I'm sorry, dude, that's a cute fucking pig.
Yeah, you know what's cool too, man, is I think that we're far enough along now where some people that are coming into the scene, that are newer, I would say, sometimes they don't know about some of that older stuff. Oh, that's a very cool set right there,
dude. To be able to have that the dream job there, it's like, yeah, damn right, that was like the dream job. Or
yeah,
Mikhail Frenetic, man, Frenetic Toys.
Yeah,
that thing is fucking stupid. And the little fluff of white hair on top, you're like, dude, like another Angry Beast, man, like some fucking Drock toy novelty. Like, yeah, that shelf's a tough one, man. Because again, like a lot of them, it wasn't really like this guy here you sent in a box. I didn't know about those dudes, but a little robot man with a black and white little pet. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's from
Zymet. Yeah, Astroplastic.
Yeah.
And then Zymet Co. back there, included in a package saying the 3 pigs. Because he's got 3 pigs.
The pig one that you have, the one that you just showed back there, was that resin or metal?
Resin.
I have a metal one of those.
Oh shit! Cold cast.
Yeah.
Iron. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to make sure we hit this guy, Grayskull Toys. And admittedly, man, like this is one of those things where there's one of those for you as well. That's like in your box as well. Grayskull Toys made sure that you have one of those too. And there's bullets inside that guy.
Oh man, that's so fucking cool, dude. What the fuck? Oh man, that's awesome. Look at that 8-bit mic block next to it.
The fucking sick 8-bit mic block. The friggin' this guy here was actually from Phantom Lake. Actually ended up grabbing that and sending it my way from Wendigo Toys.
Oh, that's right. That was
from a drop of 10. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
that was from AR 2 years ago.
It hasn't been that long.
Yes, dude, it has been long. Straight up, man. That was a great booth too from Wendigo. I remember it was Wendigo and Resin Blood right next to each other at that show. But anyways, dude, and then that bootleg Toyco, fucking toys.
Dude, that thing's insane. It's hard to explain to people how like rad that thing is. And the Terrible Toy Works one right beside it with the because. Oh, bro, my phone's gonna probably shut down.
He nailed your face on that so fucking good. I mean,
or like
perfect.
Or showing up at LM9's house and him saying to you, "Hey, I just casted a bunch of things. What would you prefer?" And then just handing you this big, massive fucking Mozart.
Unbelievable, dude. That piece right there. So I haven't showed this on the show yet, dude.
Oh.
I was gonna wait to show this one, but since you're showing that, dude, I'm just gonna show this just real quick. So he had posted one of those recently, and it was actually an overpour, and it looks like the overpour from the remember his Robot Resurrection piece? It was the Sentinel piece that he did. It was like pink and all that shit. So he had posted one of those Mozart pieces that looked like it was an overpour from that stuff. So I commented on it, and I said, dude, like, whatever the cost, let me buy that from you. That would be fucking awesome to put next to it. Not knowing that, I didn't know if he was going to sell it or not. And he said, you know what, dude, I'll just send it to you. So we actually ended up doing a trade for this piece. But I mean, it's a Mozart too, dude. But check that out. That is so fucking rad, dude. The other, I mean, the pours that he does, and even the over pours, dude. Like, it's so random that it's fucking perfect. Now, the one that you have with that stripe across the eyes, fuck, that is
but
man.
At the same time, like, one, I'm stoked you have one now, because you know how I feel odd about, like, I like pieces that you share with other folks, man. When I saw him post yours, and I definitely saw it and was like, oh, that's gorgeous. It is like these things are huge, man. They're a big piece, and it's hard to explain that like he's good, man. I feel so stupid just saying it. He's just good. He's really good at what he's doing.
You got that right.
For frig's sakes.
God, that's so
I know I'm probably going to die before this makes it out of here alive, but I've got this, man. Again, any of those pieces that are fucking like somebody saying these are Toys Alive specific pieces, the fact this has like the OG logo on it, Diamond Co.
yes.
With the freaking crying cat face.
Dude, you know what I think is so funny about the way that you have that displayed is that one came with the optional ape head mask, which you have right above it there, I see. But I put that piece up behind me as well, up over my right shoulder here, and I did the exact same thing, dude. I don't usually put that helmet on it, but I put it on right before the show. That's funny. So,
well, because how do you not put the all-seeing eye fucking genius crown on there?
Yeah.
And yeah, the Yuckamuck friggin' Toys Alive painted ones.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Has Been Toys trying to cram as much glitter as possible into an ET. And then Mecha Ducky actually was kind enough to send that to me. And Mecha Ducky and I...
that is cool. Holy shit.
He's definitely somebody, another one of those toy dudes that like I'm just very grateful for, you know? I'm sure all of you guys definitely get it. And if you don't have one, I hope you find one. There's just certain toy folks you just click with and they become like day-to-day friends.
Yeah.
But like, oh, fucking...
that is a beauty right there, dude.
That guy?
Yeah.
Or the...
No, that one. Yes.
So what's cool about that is he even told me, like, this is so far everything I can do. It shows how he can marble, it can paint, he can do a mold, he can do a cast. And of course, a tone. Oh, I'm dying.
Well, that's that. Whoops. So we will take Crumbs off. Hopefully he can plug back in here in a minute and finish that up, or probably jump back on his computer and maybe we'll wrap it up. But yeah, we'll get the rest of that story. Great collection, man. He's right. You know, when you talk about somebody like Lab Monkey 9, you're just like, yeah, man, he's just like, how do you explain it? He's just fucking good. There he is. Hi. Welcome back.
You got the speed run, man.
Yeah. I was gonna say fucking I was gonna say after that, since your phone died, that'll probably be the end of the tour, I would think, unless there was something that you wanted to bring to the camera.
You know, I think, and all of us can relate to this, man. I know that this is something that collectors actually chew on a lot. And it does make sense. Like you talk to any collector, they'll all tell you they need to get their pictures up sooner. That's what eats most of us up alive, is we know we're sitting on beautiful pieces. One, we either haven't posted them yet. Two, we either posted them, but it's been like a long ass time. They do deserve to be seen again.
Yeah.
I'm sure you even get it. There's been times in my life in the last like 6 years where I'm like, I kind of wish I had a private account. And the issue is you're like, I'm almost better off to get a better filter on myself, than go private, because the moment I make my account private, all these artists who have sent work out there, it doesn't get seen. And that's something that I think is really important, because even as somebody who the odd time has sent something out, you don't think of it. Like, I'll be totally honest, I'm not that kind of person who would think that I would normally get my little heartbeat going. But admittedly, yeah, when friggin' Darius Avalos posts one of your little army men on a shelf with his other toys, it's hard not to have that moment of like, oh shit, that's my boy. You know, like,
yeah.
You don't want to have an ego. You don't want to seem as if like you're weirdly, but it's kind of nice once those dudes have made it out to see that it's in a home, somebody actually gives a shit about it. So that's when people have sent you stuff, you kind of want to make sure that you're like, yo, like, this is some good shit. I want to make sure that I'm showing it off. There's a bunch of pieces I still didn't get a chance to show off because I was trying to speed through, but now that I'm back, maybe the odd time I can show off some pieces.
Absolutely. I was just, if you follow what was going on in the chat right now, that was so funny, dude. Ashley Alvarado says, good time to tell you, Super Terrible Toys, that another Zymot piece coming home from Earth to Kentucky. Super Terrible Toys says yes. Super Terrible Toys then says Ashley and I are sitting next to each other. And it's a good time to tell you, since we're all here. That's
funny. I'm sure we could both go on and on, man. The folks in this scene are a special breed of people, man.
Yeah.
And it would be nice if the world had more of them. Not because of the things they give, literally just their personalities, man. Like,
yeah,
the folks in that chat there, lovely folks.
You know what, dude? And it really is the reason that the show keeps on going on and not missing a week, man. I think I told you before the show started tonight, man, there's been plenty of weeks where, and I've even said it on the show, where I'm like, yeah, there's going to be no show next week. And it's always a plan. And, and then I force myself to do it. And it's not just to try to develop a habit to keep on doing things and try to push through it, not only mentally or physically or whatever you got going on. But the other thing is to, just get in here and talk with people and kind of get in that toy mode. Bro, tonight has been fucking amazing, dude. Like, I'll be honest, dude. I super appreciate talking to people, about the show, because it really does kind of keep the fire burning, man. It gets to be, and not in a bad way, man, but it gets to be a drag at some point when it's like, when it feels like it's something that you have to do and that you're obligated to do, and it starts to turn into almost feeling like a job, dude. But tonight is why I love doing this show, man. And for the last 40 to 50 episodes, it's felt different, dude. It's felt good in some ways. In some ways, it's felt really shitty. I think there's segments that we're missing out on. I think that I'm not covering enough, dude. I don't think I'm talking to enough people. I don't think I'm showing enough accounts. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff that I think when you come back and we start to put that stuff in more, dude, I get excited thinking about it, because I think it's going to be fucking awesome, man. What you said a year ago about, and we never even talked about it, man. You said that's what you wanted to do. And I never got to the point of, well, is that what the show needs? I had my own personal little bitch feelings mixed up in that, thinking, all right, well, you want to leave, then you're going to leave for good. And that was the wrong way to think about that, man, because looking back at it, that's exactly what the show needs, dude. It's exactly what the show needs, man. I know personally that if I'm going to keep going with this show, it has to be like that, dude, whether it's you or somebody else. It's got to happen. I'm glad it's you, dude. I'm glad you said, yes, let's work this out some way. I think it's going to be fucking awesome, dude. I think it's going to be cool for everybody that's involved, everybody that watches. Whether the show grows or not, I don't give a fuck, man. If these people keep on coming back every week and like doing the show, then fucking hey, let's just keep on doing it, dude, let's just keep doing it until we don't, but
less glitch. We'll have less glitches next time.
Yeah, we'll have less glitches next time for sure, man. But I don't know, man. It's a cool thing, dude. I'm glad. I really feel like this breathes a new, fresh breath of life into the show. I really do, man. And I think that's important, dude. I think that's important for me. I think it's important for you. I think it's for us as a team, and I think it's important for everybody else. Just that we can kind of keep delivering on what we do. We talked about it before, dude. We make fucking negative money in this. There is no. It's not about making money, dude. If it was about making money, I would have quit this shit fucking probably a week into it and been like, wow, this is gonna get really fucking expensive. But that's not what it's about, man. It's about just we can say it's about the toys, and yeah, it is, man. It's also about just fucking being here, and the stuff that we fucking squashed tonight, dude. I'm glad we did. The people that we talked about, how they receive it, I don't know. I don't know if I really care, but it makes me feel better, and I know it makes you feel better. And I think if you and I feel better, that's only going to be better for the show. Me physically, I'm gonna fucking sleep better tonight, because I think about that shit every motherfucking day, and I hate it, dude. You know what I mean? I really do. That has nothing to do with him or the situation in general. It's just one of those things, dude. You know what I mean? And you're just like, fuck. And you know, and now I hope we can just move on from it, dude. You know what I mean? We don't have to be fucking best friends, but you know, let's just fucking move on. We're doing our own thing, dude. We're doing our own fucking thing. I drank a lot of coffee tonight, dude. I can tell you that much.
I think you still have a giveaway to do there, homie.
Fuck. We still have a giveaway. You want to do that?
Show me how it's done.
Well, first I need to count up how many we got.
Okay. I'm learning.
So this is what I do, okay? So there's a post on Wednesday, right? Son of a bitch. Okay, so we got up to, now this is for the Plastic Vomit double pack. Surprised we didn't lose all our fucking viewers while I was spewing diarrhea in my mouth. Death and Strawberries, you are the last one to get in, my dude. You are going to be number 34 on the list tonight. Let me mark that down. 34. So this is what we are playing for tonight. This is the Plastic Vomit Donkey Kong piece. If you've seen these, there's a Pac-Man, there's a Donkey Kong. Very cool. Plastic Vomit. Again, Plastic Vomit. We will have a Plastic Vomit giveaway on every show going forward. This is another one. This one,
I don't know how they do it so consistently.
It's nothing but consistency, dude. And I think that is the key. We'll talk more about that in a minute because I have a theory on why that is. And I think it's probably pretty fucking hard to argue. But it's here's a Vader. Now there is a telescoping saber that goes in here. It's tucked in his in the cape, so you can't really see it, but there's multiple sabers in there. So we're going to do this one, and then we're going to do this one as well. All right. So 34 on the wheel tonight. Let me get that son of a bitch set up. 34. All right. Bam, let me share the screen. This is another little fancy fucking thing I got, sharing the screen, dude. I'll tell you what, man, the first time I shared my screen and it worked, I mean, I pretty much thought I was Steven Spielberg. Pretty much. You know what I mean? I'm making magic over here.
You have done some great things, man. And I hope that's clear. I do think a lot of the stuff you've done on the show has been really, really great.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. It's this StreamYard thing. I mean, honestly, dude, for like someone who's a beginner, you know, trying to do something that looks a little bit better and a little bit sharper, and add some graphics, I would suggest StreamYard, dude. I mean, you have to pay for it, but it's super easy. It's very user friendly. There's some out there that are not user friendly, and that's why I kind of stayed away from those. But I would like to kind of revisit those in the future and see if there's something else that we can do. 34 names on the box tonight for the Plastic Vomit double pack. Good luck. Winner tonight is going to be number 14. Who is number 14? Boom. Hell scrape. Boom. How about that one, man?
Hell of a collection on that person.
Boom. Hell scrape. There we go, man. That's a great win. Hellscrape got a very, very, very nice collection. We were actually talking about these guys before the show. Now, if you haven't been around for a long time, you probably don't know about these druids. But fact of the matter is, there they are, and I got these from Hellscrape. This maker, I mean, I know that I think they popped up again, but I don't know if they're still around, man. To be honest with you.
Xeno Demon Toys.
Yeah, Xeno Demon Toys. So anyways, that's that. Congrats, Hellscrape. I believe I have your address, so no problem there. Yes, Stormico, dude. I thought it was you, dude. I scrolled up. I said, oh, it's Stormico. That was very close. Dude, great collection, Stormico, by the way. We were actually talking about that earlier, man. Your color scheme is fucking amazing.
The layout.
Yeah. So next week, One Trick Pony.
Hmm.
Hot diggity dog, man. I've been waiting. And you know what? Another dude who's never been on the show.
Really?
At
Ever?
least officially, not as like a guest that I've advertised. I mean, I did something with him and Dustin last week, and they did something on the show. So he was kind of on the show last week. Did you see his grown man mustache?
I haven't seen the mustache yet.
You're in for a
You
treat.
know who you
You're in
need
for a
to,
treat.
and anybody who's met this individual, and I hate that I'm linking them, but it's because you mentioned the ones, the others coming to my mind. Hanno Doom, man. Hanno Doom does not get enough recognition.
Unbelievable. Unbelievably cool stuff. I agree. Everything you just said, dude. And I think last show or the show before, I think it was last show, I was talking about, the stuff that I see on her thread is stuff that I haven't seen before, dude. It's not only is it original art, but I think the concept that I'm looking at, it feels new to me. Now, I don't go and fucking study a bunch of art or art history or anything like that. But from what I've seen, it's very cool. She's got, that sand piece that she did at the last show. Very fucking cool. But the work all around, I think as a whole, is incredible. And I'm sure we'll see some of it next week, dude. I'm excited for that. Plastic Vomit says he got to see the stash in person last week at E2K. Max is the Hui. You got that right, man. Yeah, beautiful people, both of them, man. Very cool. Can't say enough about them. You talk about a power couple as far as the art scene goes, dude. Like, are you fucking joking me right now? Bro,
Everybody knows how I feel about One Trick. Love him to death. But Hanno Doom, talented as all shit, dude. They did, okay, one of the highlights of being in this toy scene for me, man. I'm a whack dude. I don't necessarily do all that well with pictures and stuff like that. It was super overwhelming for me. It was COVID time. All of us were getting a little bit locked in our homes and stuff like that. Hanno ended up having a big old gallery exhibition, and Max started sharing a bunch of the pictures of it in a group chat, and it really overwhelmed me. It was a little bit, it was just too much. And Amelia had a little bit of a breakdown and explained that it was just so frustrating because there was so much going on in the pictures, but I couldn't actually take in what was happening because it was a huge gallery space. There was audio included, there was visual pieces, there was lighting that she had done. They ended up driving and bringing me on a personal call to be able to actually personally see the entire exhibition. And she ended up actually going through and showing me and explaining like every piece in the show made all the difference. And the fact that this individual, like, they casted all their own screws and nails to be able to hang the pieces in their exhibition. They had done the wiring themselves and casted the power bars. They did the wiring in that was actually working for the things that they had lighting going on in their show. Oh my gosh. Insanely talented, man. Her piece for the monster show, a hollow with the fucking colored sand of the Godzilla. Oh my gosh, man. That artist is just stupidly talented.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I have a couple pieces from her, and they're all, God, dude, one of them I'm looking at right now, dude. It's like a werewolf. This was a assembly required piece. It's like a werewolf with like comic strip pieces casted inside of it. Yeah, I mean, it's so cool, dude. It's so, and then the backers by the backer. I just got to show this real quick, dude. So the backer is, so there's the figure, right? Look at that shit. Dope as shit. The backer is a picture that I believe Max took. He went into a bathroom somewhere and saw a One Trick Pony sticker on the fucking toilet and took a picture of it and made it into a backer. You're on mute.
That's their watering hole. That's their watering hole, man. Yeah.
Fuck, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Great figure.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. I wouldn't even mean to. I think I would start off as a hug, but they'd probably be the first people I ever have a threesome with by accident. It would just happen. I'd just be hugging them, and then it would just happen.
You'd probably have to get approval on that. I would think.
No, I don't think they would know what's happening either. It'd be a it'd be a
They're just
total.
kinda standing
Starts
there
with a
like,
hug.
what's
Suddenly,
happening?
we don't know what's going on. Hands are going up, shirts, belts are being undone. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, next week, One Trick Pony. That'll be fucking awesome. That'll be really cool. And then, like I said, Mint on Card after that. That'll be a great one. We'll cover that show in detail. We'll just go piece by piece with Titty Bean and KO Toys. We'll find out about this fucking Australian breakdancer disaster or miracle. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, dude. That's what I want to find out, bro. Like, good night, dude. Yeah, it was one for the ages, dude. You got that right, man.
I'm talkied. I don't know about you, man. I'm talkered.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, fucking thank you. Is there anything else that you want to say before we get the fuck on up out of here?
Just really, really appreciate you, man. Really, really appreciate you. Appreciate everybody's time. Really appreciate everybody's kindness in general.
Sweet.
It's been really nice. It's been really nice hanging out.
It has been, dude. It has been really cool. We went almost 3 hours. That's the longest show that I've done in a while.
Sorry. We had quite a few fuck ups. If we pretended the fuck ups didn't happen, we'd probably be a little bit closer to like 2.5. I mean, how long at the beginning was I just staring at my phone while trying to figure out how the fuck to get my audio to? Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Hey, we did a 50-minute intro. That's pretty fucking good.
All right, man. I look forward to next week. We'll iron out the details this week.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That'll do it for tonight. Crumbsblunt in the house with a collection tour for the ages. Lots of good news on the show tonight. Lots of good things happening on the show tonight. Be safe. We will see you next week. I'm out.